5 when he was trapped LBW by Henry Brooks in his first over of the day. I think we're going to see a double bowling change, actually. I think we're going to have young Nathan Fernandez from the Jimmy Anderson, and so deciding to go with a little bit of spin at both ends. So Henry Brooks, good spell for him. 5 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 18. That wicket of Josh Bahanu just shuffled across to the offside, exposed his stumps, 1 nip back off a length, and James Treadwell's finger was straight up. A bit of left arm spin from Nathan Fernandez, who's just having a chat with his skipper, Mark Stoneman. Getting a little bit of instruction, a bit of guidance. It's been good to see Stoneman as a very engaged skipper. I like that, particularly when you've got young bowlers.
Yeah, it's quite a big role to play, I guess, isn't it, for the senior players across all the different sides in this competition. As much as it's been given a chance for some younger players, as Fernandez bowls to Flintoff, has steered away into the offside, no run. There's actually quite a lot of sort of experienced players across many of the counties. I guess when you've got some younger players in the side, then those experienced pros play an even bigger role. Flintoff using his feet this time to Fernandez and just dabbed away into the offside, no run.
Yeah, you look at this and you've got 4 internationals playing in the 22 and then a load of players who are in that sort of Lions or equivalent bracket, or might be.
Flintoff drives through mid-off for a single, 70 for 2.
Couple of England under-19s. And that just shows the standard. And playing, it's great to see people like Sam Robson and Mark Stoneman getting to play some white ball cricket, because they might not otherwise if it was a tournament played as a standalone with no other cricket going on. Taking it back a little bit to the kind of early 2000s 50 over cricket. A tournament played as a standalone with no other cricket going on.
Fonseca facing Fernandez for the first time, looking to sweep. Off an appeal from the bowler.
Yeah, the telltale sign there was Jack Davies was not interested at all. He was looking at short fine leg doing the fielding.
70 for 2. It's the single so far off the first over from Nathan Fernandez, who creeps his way in and bowls around the wicket to Fonseca, trying to find a way to create a scoring shot here, going late, trying to run it down towards backward point. Picked up by Bamba, and there's no run. Final ball of the 16th. Turned to the mid-wicket this time by Fonseca, and there's no run. So a good start by Fernandez, just a single off the over. 70 for 2, 39 to Fonseca, and 18 to Flintoff.
I think Lancs will be quite happy with this. I think Lancashire will be quite happy with this so far.
I think so. This is lost the 2 of the more experienced players in the top 4. These 2, I think, are battered very, very nicely. I suppose having now battered together for some time, maybe the next challenge is to just try and see if they can accelerate a little bit, going at just over 4.5 and over. But yeah, I think Lancashire's coaching staff will be really pleased with how these 2 young batters have played here. There's Holman bowls to Flintoff. That's driven down the ground for 1. Cornwall's there to field. I suppose now we've got a spin from both ends. This little section of the match now, we're in for a reasonable stint from the 2 spinners. Is the next challenge, I guess, isn't it, for these 2 batters? As Fonseca drives up towards mid-on for no run to try and keep that score ticking on. You've not got the pace on the ball like they had, not got the fielding restrictions that were in place for the first 10 overs.
And that's the pressure, because you can lose overs quite quickly.
And over the wicket to Fonseca off the back foot.
So what you don't, if I spin at both ends for 20 overs, that could be over in an hour, and suddenly you look up and, oh, we're 35 overs into this, and if you haven't accelerated a little bit, you haven't been proactive, and you don't have to hit boundaries every other ball, but you do have to rotate the strike. Take 4 or 5 and over minimum.
Holman to Fonseca. Finds a gap through the covers. Takes a single, takes him on to 40. 72 for 2.
Can't allow these spinners just to settle into it. Because these two, right, they're not going to bowl 10 overs. They aren't going to bowl 40 magic balls out of 60. You can't be bowled at. If you allow yourself to be bowled at, and you're going to put your team under pressure a bit later on.
Holman to Flintoff. Takes another single through the offside. Moves on to 20 not out. 73 for 2. With one delivery left of the 17th over. He's 40 from 47 Fonseca. There's Holman in and bowls. Punched off the front foot through mid-off for a single. Keeps the strike as well. 4 coming off the over. 17 gone. 74 for 2. Fonseca 41, Flintoff from 20.
And if you take Noah Cornwall out of it, which you can't do because Noah Cornwall is playing, so those sort of statements are always a little bit odd. It's like in football when they say, oh, but the keeper made a load of great saves. Well, that's what the keeper's there to do. But you take Cornwall out of it, effectively. He's bowled 4 overs for 38. Bamber's economy rate's 1.5 from 4 overs. Brooks just 3.6, and the 2 spinners so far, Holman's bowled 3 overs for just the 9 runs. Fernandez 1 over for 1 run. Might see a bit of Josh DeCare's bowling spin. There's a 3rd spin option. Martin Anderson is the other seamer. Sam Robson still in at first slip then. Fonseca on strike to Fernandez. Slow left arm. Orthodox as Fernandez pushes that one down the ground to mid-off. And it's the 50 partnership between this pair. A round of applause here at Emirates Old Trafford. And Rocky Flintoff just wanders down. There's probably be a fist bump. I don't know, it's a bit of a high five, I like it, and a hug, lovely. I like that. Had to bend down, but be careful, Rocky Flintoff, you don't want to put your back out, bending down to hug Fonseca. He's moved on to 42. It's been nice, they're in a bit of trouble, 25 for 2, and then there have been a few Lancashire fans going, oh, not this again, as Fernandez is in, quicker one. Flintoff hits it wide of cover, and Mark Stoneman just looked to get himself set for the dive. He did put the dive in, they're going to come back for 2, they're going to have to be quick. They do get back for a couple though. Josh DeCare's down at long off, so this is good pressure. Flintoff gives the thumbs up to Fonseca. He's only got little legs yet to scramble. Stoneman got half a hand on it, but couldn't cut it off completely. So 3 from their first 2 balls, and this is the sort of thing Lancashire need to do. Just keep this scoreboard ticking over. Good from Flintoff, good from Fonseca, good from Fernandez. That involves a Yorker that does the fielding off his own bowling, and then Stoneman wanders across to him, talking him through it. What do you think? I think they skip. What do you think? Wonder who pulls rank in that. I think the bowler always just bowls what they want to bowl anyway. They have that control. Fernandez in to Flintoff, who goes for a big hit down the ground. That's lofted all the way over the rope down at long on. First 6 of the game. There's your show of intent from Rocky Flintoff, who moves into the 20s. He's batting nicely. In his arc, that.
It's good batting this by Flintoff. The shot obviously caps it off, but it's what happened before that. He's just given himself a little bit of time, hasn't he? He's had a look at both spinners here. Just nudged the ball around, just got himself into the field of facing these spinners, the left-arm spin and the leg spinner. Picks his shot out there.
83 for 2. And Flintoff just pushes that to mid-on for no run. Already 9 off the over though, so no pressure. It's good batting. 28 from 37 Flintoff has, but it's only a couple of blows to get back above a run of balls. There's no real pressure. Fonseca is 42 from 49. Fernandez in for the last ball of his second over. Looks to be dabbing that down to third. Doesn't quite get anything on it. Goes through to Jack Davis behind the stump. So the end of the 18th, 83 for 2. That's perfect from Lancashire in terms of batting.
It is, yeah. It's really sensible cricket, isn't it, by 2 young lads here. And just giving themselves a little bit of time, just facing Holman and Fernandez for a few deliveries and just giving both a bit of a look. Just pressed on a little bit in that last over, but it was actually started by the running. It wasn't any particularly big shots. It was just by moving the ball around and turn 1 into 2 for the second ball, and then obviously the 6 from Flintoff. good by Fonseca and Flintoff. 58-run partnership. Oh, he's gone for a big hit here. Skied it. There's Fonseca. And Holman takes the catch off his own bowling. And Fonseca going for that shot, looking to sweep it, but the top edge, it ballooned a mile. And Luke Holman takes a good catch. And it ends a very encouraging debut with the bat for Kesh Fonseca. He's gone for 42. Lancashire lose their third wicket, and the partnership eventually broken, 83 for 3.
It was in the air for a long, long way. I think Luke Holman just let out a few choice words. As much in relief as anything. Fonseca's head goes down, he stays in that sweep position, he rehearses the shot he wanted to play. You just see, we can see there. So that worked. You can try and go out after me. That's what might happen. Lancashire will be disappointed. Middlesex probably needed that breakthrough. Fonseca, 42 off 50, batted really, really well. Shame he couldn't keep going. It was a good start, promising start to his professional career. Just that pressure, probably looking at Luke Holman, thinking we haven't been able to get him away yet. Seeing Rocky Flintoff hit a 6 down the other end. Short boundary towards the leg side.
Obviously likes the sweep shot, doesn't he? Fonseca, we saw that the first ball of spinny face, he looks to sweep it. He's put that shot a couple of times, hasn't he? Went for a big shot, it wasn't just a little tap around the corner, he did go for a big sweep shot. Took a thin leading edge. And loops open. As you say, it took a while for Holman to take the catch, but number 2 disheartened there, Kesh Fonseca. Maybe he'll feel like he's given that away a little bit, but he's made a very encouraging start to his first game for Lancashire.
Some of those cover drives, ooh, they were glorious, weren't they?
We'll have a look at some of his shots at the end of this over, actually, and what has been a good partnership between the 2 young batters. Venkatesh Iyer is the new batter out for Lancashire. Missed the last game with a finger injury picked up at Somerset, as I didn't play in Southampton on Sunday against Hampshire, but back in the side today. So 83 for 3. And Luke Holman with his first wicket of the day. So having gone from 2 teenagers and 2 young lads starting out, Venkatesh has played international cricket, just won the IPL, slightly more advanced in his career. There's Holman in, pushed away off the front foot, but there's no run.
He's under a bit of pressure to put in a performance when you bring someone in of this stature. They don't come cheap, overseas players, particularly ones that have just won the IPL, wouldn't have thought. And as a senior player, expected to lead from the front.
Holman to Venkatesh, that's driven. Good stop by Bamba. He's gone away to his right-hand side at mid-off, tumbling stop, but Venkatesh gets his first run.
Real challenge for young Middlesex spinners. Holman, I think that was the wrong one. Bowling at someone who'll be so adept at playing. I wonder if they change tact, Middlesex, and maybe go back to a seamer. What Venkatesh may not have faced is an English seamer under the clouds wobbling around at 72 miles an hour against spin. He probably relatively comfortable.
Holman to Flintoff. It's a cute shot. Just paddle that down towards fine leg. Little lap sweep from Flintoff. Knew the gap was there with fine leg inside the circle. Plays a lovely little touch cricket there. Into position early and just paddles it around the corner for 4.
Yeah, he's starting to look good. And he's scoring in different areas as well, Flintoff.
Moved on to 32. Bowls again. Forward, right forward in defence. And there is no run. This is his highest score. In fact, I think in every game he's played, I think he's beaten his previous highest best. He's had a couple of low scores, but he's gradually got better and got a new top score in every innings, and comfortably his best so far. He gives himself a bit of room, looking increasingly more confident, and drives away through the offside for 1. And that is the end of the 19th over. So the wicket fell in the over, so it ends the partnership between Kesh Fonseca and Rocky Flintoff. They've both played some beautiful shots at off drive, maybe the pick of them from Flintoff, and some good cover drives from Fonseca. They put on 58 together, batted exactly the same number of deliveries. Both faced 38 balls. One got 29, one got 28 in the partnership, and some glorious shots along the way between the pair.
Yeah, fairly enjoyable to watch. Flintoff still going, as is left arm spinner Nathan Fernandez, and Flintoff just gives himself some room and dabs that really, and pushes it into the offside pass marks. Then will just be a single, almost hit it too well to come back for a couple. I think is it Joe Cracknell out there? Usually is. Out in the deep. Left-hander Ireland, so something a little bit different. What a challenge this is for young Nathan Fernandez. Him and Stoneman having a word. It looks like there's a long on. Long off is going to come up into the circle, I think. Deep mid-wicket, deep backward square leg. Deep extra cover. Short backward point, not short backward point, but a backward point. And the ring. Sam Robson at first slip still. Ira is sweeping, half a shout for LBW. At least Jack Davis was interested. James Treadwell, not in the slightest. He's got his lighting hampers on there, James Treadwell. It's a little bit gloomy. No rain yet, though, crucially, as Fernandez is in, and Ira is pushing it back to him off the back foot, and that one just flicked up, bounced just before Fernandez, hit him on the knee, potentially. No run, 90 for 3. Aya has 1. Venkatesh. This is a big wicket. Middlesex would love to get him early. Uses his feet, goes up. He's hit that a long, long way. An early show of intent. Bang into the lower tier of the hotel. Thought for half a second maybe he hasn't got a hold of it. Now this is what Venkatesh does so well. He's going to put these young spinners under a lot of pressure.
This is what you want, isn't it, from Venkatesh, the senior guy there, picking his shots. A big hit. He's cleared the DJ stage, the 100 DJ stage. No DJ required today.
Well, I don't know. We could do with one.
Well, maybe we should go across there and just
multitask.
Yeah. During the interval.
I think my music would be a bit of weird, random selection.
Well, that would fit in well for the 100.
True.
The more bizarre, the better, I think.
Aya has 7 after that 6. 96 for 3. Fernandez is in. Aya is driving that through the covers. Just be a single.
It's been a bit all or nothing with Venkatesh. He's not. Well, at the minute he's been nothing really. But I get the impression that he's that type of player. Watching him bat, that if he comes off, I'm sure it will be quite spectacular. He came into this Lancashire dressing room on the back of 2 really good performances in the IPL. His last 2 games in the IPL. Fernandez
is in. Flintoff just pushing that to Stoneman at cover to end the over. So 20 overs gone. 96 for 3. Flintoff's 34. Venkatesh has 7. Yeah,
2 half centuries for the Calcutta Knight Riders. 1 in the final to help win it, and 1 in the eliminator match. 52 and a 51. But it looks like a player that, if he gets going and gets in, then it could be quite spectacular. He's just not quite got going just yet, but maybe today could be his day. 97 for 3. 20 overs gone. Needs his bootlaces tying up now, as Venkatesh.
Just reading a message from my wife. So we've been without power for the last 12 hours. I got home last night, powerless, and we kept getting these texts saying, you know, it's coming back on, we promise. I woke up this morning, couldn't have my coffee. I was very grumpy this morning, so I couldn't have a coffee first thing. Just a message to give us the reasoning, and apparently your power cut was caused by a grounded overhead conductor that was brought down by a goose, which I did not expect to read this morning.
Feels like it's almost made up, that, doesn't it?
Only in Cheshire. So thanks,
Goose. Those goose in Cheshire.
Pesky.
Yes. It's like someone out there shooting them, ready for supper.
Well, electrified, probably. I shouldn't say that. I have the RSPCA on to me.
Yeah.
I had nothing to do with the incident, if anyone is listening.
Let's hope nobody was injured in the process of power being
absolutely
cut off. Holman to Venkatesh. Wanted 1, but Flintoff wasn't too keen, just pushed away to point. Gives Rocky Flintoff the thumbs up. Maybe it's a good call, he says, in hindsight. 97 for 3. Over number 21. It's stopped inside the circle at short, fine leg.
By Josh DeCares, who we always forget about in our chat about sons of, because of the surname. So yeah, the England team of the late 90s, early 2000s, basically all their children are playing in this tournament. That's what the tournament was designed for. It's the ECB's master plan after all. What's Venkatesh up to here? He's saying something to James Treadwell at square leg.
Yeah, not sure. Need a bit of a conference here. The two umpires need a chat.
Does he want a runner? No, I don't know. I mean, that's a complete guess. There was a shake of the head, wasn't there?
It was, yeah.
By Neil Pratt.
We go again. Throwing away down towards short third man, where fielded by Brooks, no run. 97 for 3. Venkatesh is on 8. Holman's in with his leg spin. Balls carved away through the offside. Good work out on the cover boundary. Just a single to Venkatesh. He's having a right old natter out in the middle, isn't he? Anyone that wants to listen by the looks of it. Got a smile on his face and having a chuckle away. 98 for 3. Brings Flintoff back on strike. Holman in. Beats the diver Stoneman at short cover. Flintoff through for a single. Takes him to 35 not out. 99 for 3. One ball left of the over. 2 coming off it so far. Reinforce the offside. There's sweeper on the cover boundary plus 3 fielders inside the circle. Goes back, plays it back to Holman, who takes a brilliant catch off his own bowling. Venkatesh departs for 9. Fabulous catch by Holman, low down to his left off his own bowling. Punched away by Venkatesh Iyer. Has been so far a little bit of all or nothing for Venkatesh. And again, unable to go on and get a score here. But a great reaction catch by Holman. 99 for 4.
And the thing is, Scott, it looked like it was going to be all. Just the way he'd hit that first 6, and even a couple of those ones, the way he struck the ball, you thought, OK, this is a man with his iron. I'm not sure that's the wrong one from Holman. It's a brilliant catch. He makes it look very easy. I'm really enjoying how angry he's looking after each of his wickets. Luke Holman. I don't know if maybe they checked him in and he only had a single bed or something overnight. He looks fired up about something, Luke Holman. And that's a huge wicket for the young leg spinner. It's a feather in his proverbial cap because he's got out an IPL winner, a player who's so good against spin. But in the context of this game, to get Venkatesh Iyer for just the 9, huge wicket. And that partnership now between Flintoff and Kesh Fonseca, it set Lancashire up with a platform. Are they going to throw it away? You just worry. Flintoff's still there though, 35. And Chris Green, who's been in terrific form in this competition. Did he get 100 in the last game?
He did, yeah.
50 at Somerset, where everyone else would make you think, oh, is there a few demons in this pitch? And then Chris Green comes out and makes it look very easy.
Yes, he's had a brilliant couple of games, Chris Green. 65 at Taunton on Friday, and then the century, his first career century, that against Hampshire on Sunday. He's had such a brilliant career, but also equally odd and unusual because it's been almost exclusively T20 cricket. He made his 50 over, or his List A debut, 3 months before his T20 match debut, which was 10 years ago. And this is his 25th List A match compared to 200 T20 matches.
Playing against his former side as well. Played a little bit of T20 for Middlesex. Yeah, it's a great career if you can have one, isn't it? Going around the world, just playing a bit of T20. He plays a T20, goes on TV for a bit, plays a 50-over game in rotation. That's the sort of life. Is that what you do? Is that when you're not doing the live stream, are you playing some kind of... Were you in that MLS side with Ian Holland? Didn't see your name.
Who wasn't? I was in the under-19 squad. 99 for 4.
Ethan Bamber back into the attack. Change of ends for him. As Rocky Flintoff is defending off the back foot. Stuck in the 90s. It's the nervous 90s almost for Lancashire at the moment. After that little bit of acceleration. Lost Fonseca with the score on 83. Remember, they were 25 for 2 a little bit earlier on. Venkatesh Iyer 99 for 4. And actually, Middlesex will be looking to try and pick up these wickets quickly because there is rain in the air. And I hate to do this. I've looked at the forecast and it is quite heavy from a little bit later on. So if you can wrap this game up quickly, as Flintoff drives that straight to Mark Stoneman at cover, you've got a feeling they're going to need to get Rocky Flintoff though. He looks in terrific touch. Tall man, as you can see, Jack Davies behind the stumps. Dwarfed by Rocky Flintoff, who just looks unflustered by it all. 16-year-old. There's a bit of pressure on him with his team sort of crumbling around him. Not phased. In comes Bamber, who drives that again to Mark Stoneman, who juggles it a couple of times, does the fielding. He's in his retro kit, Mark Stoneman. I think that's the old one. I think he's gone retro. .99 for 4, halfway through the 22nd over. Remember, Josh Bohannon about 10:30, a couple of hours ago now, called correctly, said we're going to have a bat. I wonder what he's thinking of that decision. Could go either way, this though. Bamber into Flintoff, he pushes it to mid-off, takes a couple of steps, thinks about a single, decides against it. Martin Anderson does the fielding, there'll be no run. Kevin Hand's been in touch. He of the U of Middlesex is what I call him, though that's probably not the correct way of describing it in terms of my use of the English language. He's asking if the Scott Reed party stand is empty again. Presumably he's talking about that huge temporary structure to our left as Bamber is in. Flintoff is opening the face, goes to backward point where De Caires does the fielding for no run.
Yeah, the party stand is closed off today. There's just one camera operator in the party stand. I don't know who's on the camera in the it's Jazz, I'm told, on the camera on the Baywatch Tower in the party stand.
Yes, this could be a scene out of Baywatch actually, now I think about it. As Bamber is in, Flintoff on the back foot, pushing it out into the offside. If you just put the music to this, you'd hang on a minute. Have we reinvented the 90s? 100 up for Lancashire. Stuck in the 90s, but the last ball, the 22nd over. Rocky Flintoff has pushed a single that's brought up the team 100, but they are 4 down.
Yeah, party stand not required for the Metrobank One Day Cup. Be in full swing for the test match, which is here in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, is the right word to say tribute to Jimmy Anderson? It's not. I don't want to make it sound like he's passed. It's not the Jimmy. It's a celebration of his career.
That's yeah, well, yeah.
But that's the modern way of describing a funeral, though, isn't it? A celebration of. People know what I mean.
Yeah, there is something. There's a big do going on.
Oh, that's what I do.
There's a big
5-day shindig.
Here we go. I'll quote the official press release, shall I?
Yeah. Safest.
We'll get us both out of trouble now. Lancashire Cricket to celebrate the international career of James Anderson at Emirates Old Trafford. This is the first day of the test match, so the Wednesday. And it's Flintoff, who's on 36, works for Holman. It's a clip to the leg side for a single. So Lancashire Cricket will celebrate the international career of James Anderson with a special presentation at Emirates Old Trafford outfield during day 1 of the first test match against Sri Lanka.
No time given. It could be any point of day 1. It's like one of those radio shows where you like phone in when you hear this song.
The presentation will take place during the lunch interval on the opening day.
If it was the 100, they just do it in the middle of the game or something like that.
They do it on that DJ stand. Chris Green taking guard from the umpire, bowler and captain in conversation. So the Lancashire chair, Andy Anson, we are incredibly proud of Jimmy and all his achievements in an England shirt. It will be an emotional day and a chance for fans to say thank you, Jimmy. With this being one of the only tests in the North this summer, it will provide supporters with a special opportunity to celebrate one of the all-time greats. It's the Jimmy Anderson Day on the 21st of August. I don't know if it's sold out the first day or not.
That's my next question.
Oh, no.
I might try and get along because the one, guess which day I had tickets for the Ashes last year. One day. Yeah.
You sit there and watch it.
Oh yeah, we played a lot of cricket out the back.
Yeah, watch it rain for a bit.
We went, shall we go, shan't we go? We watched it rain for a good 3 or 4 hours and eventually gave up on it.
103 for 4. Right, well, I think we're ready. Green waits as Holman's in. Goes for a big shot. Does it get enough to clear the infield? Just about. It's spinning out towards the boundary. In fact, he gets 4. I think it was Sam Robson who was just reaching for it, trying to get fingertips, and couldn't quite get a hold of it. Just enough. There goes the reach. Beyond Robson's fingertips, 4 runs.
It never looked like he was going to take the catch. It always just felt like it was going to be a little bit beyond it. It was spinning in the air. He spliced it. I think it was the wrong one that went back into Chris Green. And I tell you what, I'd like to have seen Luke Holman's face because he's angry when he takes wickets. I don't know what he's like when the catches go down off his bowling. Half a chance there at best.
4 to Green. Slip in place, Holman to Green. Push away into the offside, calls Flintoff through for a single.
He's got that really exaggerated bobbing, doesn't he? It's almost like a nodding dog when he's batting, Chris Green. Goes up and down a couple of times.
It's a very smiley noddy dog, isn't he?
Yeah, happy noddy dog. He was smiling when that catch was put down. He knows he sort of got away with one there, which will only have infuriated the bowler more to see the batter grinning back at him.
He's got a very stern look on his face, hasn't he? I think Holman. It's a lovely drive by Flintoff down the ground just before 1.
Subfielder on is Robbie White. Just try and... I should have worked out who he was on for before I mentioned it, but I didn't. I said what I saw. Now I'm working backwards. Be one of the quick bowlers, won't he? Yeah, I can't see Ethan Brooks.
Holman to Green off the back foot. Punched down the ground. Holman went again leaping away to his left. Took a brilliant catch of his own bowling to get rid of Venkatesh Iyer. Went low to his left to try and stop that ball and prevent the single for Green.
Or indeed Henry Brooks. It would have been a surprise if I saw Ethan Brooks out there.
It's too many Brooks.
Too many Brooks, spoiler.
Something. 110 for 4. Holman in. Flintoff with a single. Clipped away to mid-wicket for 1. Takes him to 40. No, it doesn't. Takes him to 39. Not out. And it's 111 for 4. With 1 ball remaining of the 23rd over. Holman 2 for 28. Spins the ball from one hand to the other. Green bobbing up and down. And then defends to Stoneman. And there's no run. End of the over. 111 for 4. Flintoff 39 and Green on 6.
And just a brief interlude off the pitch for Henry Brooks. As Robbie White departs, there's that Lancashire dressing room. A few concerned faces. Not quite gone how they would have hoped. The scoring rate's okay. Had they just lost a wicket or two, maybe they'd have built themselves a platform. Chris Green, though, has been the man to dig them out of a couple of holes. Well, he hasn't quite managed to dig them out, but he's at least attempted to, whatever the metaphor is, some soil back in, clamber in to Flintoff, who looks really good. And I shouldn't keep saying that, because you know what happens when a commentator says someone looks good. But he's just looked so assured since he's been out there. There was there was a short ball from Brooks quite early on that jagged back at him. He just swayed out of the way of it and completely unflustered, and that's just how he's gone about this whole innings so far. You'd never guess this was his best score in this state. You'd think he'd be playing for years. That's a lovely shot. Not going to get a run for it though. Take a couple of steps, realise mid-off is going to be there. Martin Anderson, not seen him with ball in hand yet. Mentioned it already, he'll be off to Derbyshire over the winter. So they've got a couple of players out there, Middlesex, who have already signed deals elsewhere. Happens more and more often now with that. Not quite a transfer window, but when you can talk to out-of-contract players, I just find it a bit disruptive as Flintoff is on the back foot, pushes it out towards Joe Cracknell. Deep extra cover, just a single, 112 for 4. 23.5 overs gone here at Emirates Old Trafford.
Yeah, since Lancashire last played, they've announced a new signing as well with Michael Jones.
Oh yeah, good signing. Re-signing? Was he before? He's a boy from around here, isn't he?
He is, yeah. There's a bit of confusion as to whether he was with Lancashire's academy or not. But yes, he's certainly a local lad. Skirk.
He had a really good year last year when they won Division 2. Just found himself out of the side, and they've signed Emilio Gay and Will Rhodes, haven't they? So they've got a couple of openers in.
Yeah, Michael Jones joining from Durham, 3-year contract, and he will join Lancashire at the end of the season.
Oh, I can tell you for a fact he played for the under-14s.
Okay.
That's back in 2012. So I don't know if he was on the academy, but he definitely played youth cricket.
We'll push up towards mid-off, a cheeky single that by Green. May have been tight with a direct hit. Made his mind up early, Green, to go through for 1. He's on to 7, 13 for 4.
That's me just in the Michael Jones research hole, neglecting my actual duties. 1 ball left in the 24th over. Flintoff on strike. Bamber is in. Flintoff is defending into the offside where Mark Stoneman swoops. No run. 24 gone. 130 for 4. Flintoff's got 40. Green has 7 at the other end. 4 batters to fall for Lancashire. A young Kesh Fonseca who batted nicely. George Bell, Josh Bohannon, and the big one, Venkatesh Iyer. The most recent man to go to this chap on screen, Luke Coleman, who's picked up a couple for 2 for 28 off 6 overs, bowled well. Really well.
Jones has had 7 seasons up in the northeast with Durham, Scotland International. So he's signed a 3-year deal. Will join Lancashire at the end of the season. But yeah, we're at that part of the season now, aren't we, where you do get to see players moving around and announcing they're not going to sign contracts and they're going to leave at the end of the season, and you get players being picked up by other counties. It all seems a bit odd, you know, that player movement right in the crunch time of the season as well, isn't it? Green off the back foot. Takes a single out towards the leg side.
And then you're in that position of, do you pick them, don't you pick them? And you sometimes don't have a choice in this tournament now. It's very difficult. You'd like to think most players would continue to give everything they've got until the point they leave. But then as a coach, you're thinking, well, do I play someone who's not going to be here next year? Do I want to give someone else a go and see if they can do it? Very difficult.
Holman to Flintoff. Second time he's played that little paddle shot down towards the fine leg boundary. Bamber will catch up with it. Flintoff comes back for 2. Moves on to 42 not out. 116 for 4.
You almost need a realignment. A bit like when a business changes an accounting year. You want contracts to expire at the back end of September or in October. I know that would only be for the English domestic season, but
there's Holman to Flintoff. Forward in defence, no run.
Well, there should be a window at least. That's when they do expire. But June is really early in the season. You've only just started the current season to be starting to get distracted and have lads talking about it.
Holman to Flintoff again. Play back down the pitch, gathered by Luke Holman off his own bowling, and there's no run.
It's impacted the women's game actually. And, what Lancashire have done really well is they've had people, they've lined it up, but for a lot of the other sides, suddenly first week of the season, brilliant, got this new structure.
Back and takes a single to mid-off this time, moves on to 43, 117 for 4. Which
is fantastic, but then everyone suddenly went, now we have to start a professional sports team from scratch in a couple of months. And players in the dressing room were all going, well, actually I'm out of a job, technically, come the end of the season, unless like Lancashire, you've got ahead of it. Coaches are thinking the same, so it's a little bit disruptive, all that stuff. I don't know how you really combat it. I'm just offering problems, not solutions.
Final ball of the 25th over. Cut away by Green out towards point for 1. And that is the halfway stage of the innings. 25 overs gone. 118 for 4. You wouldn't notice it, or you wouldn't think it, but he's poked quite well, Luke Holman, but he doesn't look it. 2 for 33 from 7 overs. And Green and Flintoff batting together here for Lancashire. So they've got half their overs remaining. 25 to go. We're going to have a drinks break. 118 for 4. Flintoff on 43. And Green on 9. Looks a bit gloomy outside. I'm surprised we've not got the floodlights on.
I was about to ask. I know we haven't got rain yet, but it's just felt a little bit darker. And I think there's a fair few of the Middlesex players have sprinted off, so I think a lot of them need a comfort break.
Right. That's well timed.
There's the forecast.
Well, it doesn't look utterly horrific, does it, the radar? But it looks, there's a suggestion that they might get the odd shower coming our way. We've had a week of glorious sunshine. Derbyshire and Somerset and Southampton were lovely.
It's felt like actual summer, hasn't it?
Yeah. There's only one other game which is in play elsewhere, because the game between Warwickshire and Glamorgan's been delayed, but they are playing at Scarborough, and Yorkshire are batting first, and they're 81 for 4. Looks like the hospitality tent's doing a good trade. So 81 for 4 Yorkshire. Match taking place at Scarborough. That's the only other game that's taken place.
Umpires on screen, I think, are on the walkie-talkies, and the question they might be asking is, please can somebody turn the lights on? So it is gloomy.
Might get the floodlights on. So drinks break here, having reached the halfway point of the Lancashire innings. The wickets to fall in this Lancashire innings so far. We'll have a little look at these wickets, shall we? They've lost 4 of them. To begin with, Ethan Bamber with the first breakthrough. Bell cutting to backward point, fell for 4. Good catch by Luke Holman. And then Brooks trapping Bohannon, LBW for 5. Lancashire 2 down early on. And then a really good partnership between Fonseca and Flintoff. In the end, Fonseca going, followed by Venkatesh Iyer. Good catch off his own bowling by Luke Holman. So he's picked up 2 of the 4 wickets to 4. 1 for Brooks, 1 for Bamber. And that leaves Flintoff and Green currently batting together here. 10 to 1. Lunchtime for some inside the ground.
They looked very relaxed there, Flintoff and Green. They were just having a chat, both smiling away. They were talking about cricket or just distracting themselves. All these scenes of people eating. It's the one downside of this tournament is when do you have your lunch when you're on commentary? 2:30. He's noticed he's on the screen. School holidays, so a few youngsters in as well. I wonder if many have made the trip up from Middlesex. I'm sure there'll be a few, always is.
In the hotel, potentially.
He's Definitely hasn't made the trip up to Middlesex, that young man. Big Lancashire fan. People have clocked on, I think. The reaction time is good, actually, now. What's the name of that cricket club he's got on in the hoodie?
Can't quite see that, no. This guy come with an umbrella hat, so he's ready for all weather. Well, there's a reasonable sprinkling of spectators around the ground, and they've enjoyed watching themselves appear on the big screen.
Just joining us, the cricket is about to resume. Had a bit of a drinks break halfway through the Lancashire innings. 118 for 4. Chris Green has 9. Rocky Flintoff has 43. And Henry Brooks has the ball in his hand. Jim Jansen end. Still a slip in for Green. He's bobbing up and down. Pushes it back past the bowler, but straight to Nathan Fernandez at mid-on. 4 no runs, so remains 118 for 4. Brooks picked up the wicket of Josh Bohannon in a very, very good first spell. Noah Cornwall actually opened the bowling, just bowled a couple of overs, and Mark Stone went, well, your radar isn't quite right, so I'm going to turn to Brooks, and 4 balls in, I think it was. Josh Bohannon trapped LBW for just the 5. This Green plays a lovely, lovely drive, but it's straight to the fielder at mid-off, so he won't get anything for it. Robbie White, sub-fielder, on again. Throws it into fellow wicket-keeper Jack Davies, who has the gloves on. Sam Robson, he is the slip. It's not really a first slip. If there's one slip in today, it doesn't tend, or these days, doesn't tend to be a first slip, does it?
No.
It's usually a second or a 1.5, with the keeper expected to cover that traditional first slip position. Here's Brooks in. Green waiting, short ball pulled, top edge. There's a fielder down there. It's Noah Cornwall who takes the catch. Drinks brings wickets. Fist pump from Henry Brooks, and that's a big one as well. Chris Green, who's been in fine form in this tournament, 50 at Somerset, maiden list day, 100 down at Hampshire. He has to go today for just the 9. Lancashire now in a little bit of trouble, 118 for 5. Brooks has 2.
It's a good catch, isn't it? By Noah Cornwall, because he's had to make up a little bit of grass to get across to it, and then take a tumbling catch. And of course, it's Green who's the informed batter here. He's been Lancashire's best batter in the competition. So it's a good catch. Banged in, went for it, and he's shifted away to his left, in position, and takes a good catch. It's a really, really good breakthrough that for Middlesex, because of what we've seen in the last couple of games by Chris Green. No, he didn't bother straight away, doesn't he? On the back of his first century at Hampshire, in a real terrific 65 against Somerset on the Friday. He departs, and Brooks with his second wicket. Lancashire 5 down.
Yeah, all smiles. Brooks has used the short ball really well, actually. There's a lot of bowlers, you can just bang it in, but batters can sway out of the way of it. They don't have to do anything with it. He had to play it, that Chris Green, because it was right at his body. He had to play it, it'll duck out of the way. He's made Flintoff sway out of one. It's good from Henry Brooks. Twice, Mark Stoneman has said to Henry Brooks, on you come, get us a wicket, and twice Henry Brooks has delivered. 5 down. All, well, not all, but a lot on Flintoff here. George Balderson is out in the middle now, left-hander. We've got Josh Boyden, got Jack Morley, Tom Bailey. No Harry Singh yet.
No. He has in previous games opened the batting, yes, for Lancashire.
And it surprises me slightly, given we're down to number 7. Presumably he's got to come in 8.
Yeah, they've changed, chopped and changed quite a bit with their batting order through the course of the competition. I mean, Flintoff's been up at 4, he's been down at 6, and Balderson likewise. They've interchanged a little bit. He's been up at 4 and down at 7 now. So yeah, they've kind of changed it around a bit through the course of the campaign.
Brooks into Balderson, first ball, left-hander, pushes it into the offside. Now, be no run. Trio of subfielder White, Josh DeCares and Holman all descending on that ball. Sam Robson's at first hit.
Robertson's coming into the team because of the Keaton Jennings joining up with the London Spirit. He has batted it. He has opened the batting scene in the previous games. But he would, yeah, he'll be in next.
Brooks is in. The left-handed Balderson, another good short ball that Balderson just ducks out of the way of. Yeah, a couple of ducks either side of 14 at Taunton for Harry Singh. 25 at Sedbergh in that opening game. Bit of trouble here, Lancashire. 118 for 5. Remember having opted to bat Josh Bohannon, called correctly. So we're going to have a bat. So Middlesex will be delighted with the way this has unfolded. Just that one partnership really between Flintoff and Fonseca as Balderson is defending. Straight to mid-off. So end of the over, 26 gone that first over. After the drinks break, brings a wicket. It was a big one as well. Chris Green caught well by Noah Cornwall at long leg. Henry Brooks has 2 wickets. Lancashire after 26 overs are 118 for 5.
Yeah, wicket made in that for Brooks. Super return after the drinks break. 118 for 5. Be happy, Mark Snowman having a conversation with Luke Holman, who's bowled 7 on the spin from the Brian Statham end. Looks like he's going to bowl 8 on the bounce here, 2 for 33. Flintoff on strike, who's 43 not out.
I'm sure deep inside Luke Holman is a happy man. He just doesn't show it on his face.
And balls to Flintoff, who's off the front foot. It's pushed away back down the pitch, and there's no run. I'm hoping that before his 10 overs are done, we're going to see a little smile at some point. Just a little one. Into Flintoff. Stoneman at short cover to field, no run.
Maybe when his 10 overs are done, maybe we'll just get a little glint in the eye.
Twirls his way back in, ball. Flintoff goes back and defends. Holman moves a few paces away to his right, scoops the ball up and back into position. Keeper standing up behind the stumps. Holman balls again. Forward goes Flintoff, defends. And again, there's no run. 118 for 5. Holman with a white towel hooked into the back of his trousers. Maybe a little bit of grease in the outfield. Played late by Flintoff, just trying to roll the ball down towards third man. Tumbling stop at short third. Flintoff does get through for a single. 44 now to him. 119 for 5.
He just had to slow down a tad, hasn't he? The momentum that they did have, that he gave them from that, was it Nate Fernandez over where he hit that 6 and picked up that quick 2, 9 off the over, and he thought, okay, this partnership's going to build. And actually it was the very next over, wasn't it? Fonseca fell sweeping to Luke Holman. At that point Lancashire were on top, but it's changed quickly.
Balderson waits as Holman's in. Goes back, plays a nice shot. Square drive out towards the point boundary just for a single. That's his first run. Picked up on the cover boundary by Joe Cracknell. And Balderson keeps the strike as well, so that's 27 overs completed. It's 120 for 5. Flintoff 44. Balderson on 0. Yeah, the biggest partnership of the innings has been that Fonseca and Flintoff 1 for 58. Flintoff and Green 19. Flintoff and Venkatesh Iyer 16. Need to find another one here, Lancashire.
That man on screen, Henry Brooks, will be doing everything he can to ensure they aren't able to. A couple of slips in for left-hander Balderson, who's got just one new to the crease. Sam Robson at first. Josh Cares at second. He's coming around the wicket to the left-hander. Just goes a little bit too straight. Tickle round the corner. There is a fielder down at fine leg. It's Ethan Bamber. Keeps it to just the 1. Balderson moves on to 2. 21 for 5. Just one slip in for Flintoff. settled. Technically just one strike away from what would be a maiden 50 in the professional game for Rocky Flintoff. Batted really nicely, batted really sensibly as well. A couple of beautiful strokes we've seen from him. Doing the job for his team. Drop and run, that's good. Nathan Fernandez is quite deep at mid-on. Necessarily positioned because how well Flintoff's been striking the ball. Drop and run. 2 singles off the first 2 balls of this over. Over number 28 of this game. It's a big one for Middlesex. Still with an outside chance of qualifying. It's a really tight top of this group actually. Top 3 go through. It's going to go right down to the wire. As Brooks is in around the wicket to left-handed. Balderson who's trying to cut. Can't quite get it away. Holman just bounces awkwardly in front of him at extra cover. Gets both hands on it. No run. Still no floodlights. It's very gloomy. I always forget, sat in press boxes, we're usually looking through slightly tinted windows.
That's true, yeah.
But still, I wouldn't say it's the height of summer. Maybe in date, but not quite in conditions. It has been beautiful. Back over the wicket this time. Brooks, change of angle. He's into Balderson. He just turns him quite comfortably into deep square leg. Joe Cratner will do the fielding. Picks up 1. 22 overs remaining after this one. Still plenty of time for Lancashire. First task is not to leave any overs out there. We're going to want Rocky Flintoff to bat for most of them as well, if they're going to set a competitive total. Brooks turns, Flintoff on 45, stands. Slower ball, Flintoff waits, opens the face, thinks about a single. George Balderson says absolutely not. Martin Anderson was sweeping from backward point. Slip comes out, Sam Robson given the nod. Going to go to a shortish mid-wicket on the catch. Still nothing down at Edgbaston. Well, nothing but rain. Not what you want to see. This time Flintoff is trying to do the same. Opens up the face, but then again, Martin Anderson is there. Still not seeing him with ball in hand, although he does have the ball in his hand right now. He does the fielding. Just 3 off that Henry Brooks over. He's bowled 7, taken 2 for 21. Wickets of Josh Bohannon and Chris Green. 123 for 5, Lancashire. Here at Emirates Old Trafford, Sam Dalling alongside Scott Reed. On a gloomy day, a day that we were expecting, truth be told, a lot more rain. Haven't had any yet, which is good news. Or maybe it's not good news, I don't know how Lancashire feel about it. Change of bowling. Luke Holman isn't going to bowl out. He's bowled brilliantly. Picks himself up a couple of wickets from an 8-over spell that's cost us 35 runs, but they're going to use Nathan Fernandez. Change of ends for him, left arm spinner. About half an hour ago, Rocky Flintoff just started to get going against Fernandez, picked up a couple, and from nowhere plonked this 6 over long on. That forced Middlesex into a bit of a change. But Fernandez is now back from the Brian save from medium centre end. That's defended into the offside for no run. Fernandez past the umpire, delivers, and Anderson again, who seems to be the only fielder in the game for this last 5 minutes or so. This time he's at short extra cover. I think he's fielded 4 balls in a row, following him around. False start there, as Balderson just pulls away to make some adjustments to his shirt. Quicker one from Fernandez, pushed down to long on. Noah Cornwall comes around, does the fielding, chucks it in left-handed. Noah Cornwall taking the catch 10 minutes or so ago that saw off Chris Green. Short ball from Henry Brooks that Green wasn't ever in control of. Turned it round the corner, he looked, and he's Head dropped because he saw there was a fielder down there. It was a good catch from Cornwall. Stoneman and Fernandez deep in conversation. Stoneman's been brilliantly proactive as a skipper, talking his young bowlers through all of this. On the back foot, but can only find Stoneman, so there will be no run. 4 balls gone, just the 1 run off it so far. What will Flintoff do here? His 6 came out of the blue. This time he's watchful onto that front foot. Defending it back, so it remains 124 for 5. 1 ball left for the 29th. Single to end the over. Flintoff had a look, they were slightly hesitant. There was a shy at the non-striker's end from Josh De Caires. An apology from Rocky Flintoff. It's about the first thing he's done, I'll say wrong, but half error, misjudgment. 125 for 5 after 29 overs. Rocky Flintoff has 46, George Bolton has 4.
Yeah, only 2 batters into double figures, and it's the 2 young lads, isn't it? Kesh Fonseca, 42. Rocky Flintoff's unbeaten, 46. Single for the scores elsewhere. Bell 4, Bahanam 5, Venkatesh 9, Green 9. And Balderson just starting out. He's on 4. Because you're looking for kind of shoots of encouragement from this One Day Cup campaign, and looking at some of the younger players that they might be able to get into the team and be given a chance. Well, Fonseca and Flintoff certainly today so far are the shining lights for Lancashire. Josh De Caires is going to come into the attack from the Jimmy Anderson end. So we'll see some more spin. They've used 3 spinners so far. Holman 8 overs, Fernandez 4 overs. 4 overs for 19. Holman's bowled 8 overs, 2 for 35. So leg spin, left arm spin, and now some off spin. So Flintoff just flicks the ball away off his hip. Through for a quick single. Moves on to 47. 126 for 5.
He's done a fair bit of bowling. I mean, he's an opening batter by trade, really, De Caires. Certainly in red ball cricket. And actually, he took that 7 for against Hampshire last year. And he's become a genuine all-rounder. Another one who's been on a Lions tour.
He's got Balderson on strike. He's off spin from around the wicket to Balderson with a slip in place forward in defence. Just calmly plays the ball back down the pitch and gathered by Josh De Caires off his own bowling. Creeps back to his mark.
Do these two just have to bat for a bit now without really worrying too much? Can you afford to do that? I don't know.
And again to Balderson. Drives on the bounce to cover. No run.
Can you give yourself 10 overs of being happy enough scoring at 3 or 4 and over if that's all that's on offer? Just to have that last 10 with wickets in hand.
Balderson back to Josh De Caires. No run. Yeah, it's tricky that, isn't it? I suppose that Dale Benkenstein, the head coach, has been telling us he wants his team to play a certain kind of attacking way and to keep going, to keep trying to find boundaries and take the positive option. It's a good shot by Balderson, drilled down the ground for a single. 127 for 5, but
that hasn't always been evident.
I think it's been a little muddled thinking at times from Lancashire in the One Day Cup. Yeah, I'm not sure if they... Which, it's a new side and some young players, so you can factor that into the equation. 1 for Flintoff, moves on to 48 as he drives through mid-off for a single. End of the over as well, 128 for 5, Flintoff 48 and Balderson on 5. So you got some new players, you got some younger players, you got a new coaching setup, and maybe just a little bit of understanding as to how they want to play their 50 over cricket. At the minute, just ticking along here, aren't they? With 20 overs left, going at fraction over 4 runs and over.
I'd like to see them just relax. You almost feel like they need to have a bit of a team day out. Go to Chester Zoo, or whatever's it, just have a bit of fun. Take all the pressure off. They just feel like players who are playing under, feel the weight of pressure on them. Fernandez is in, turned into the leg side for just a single, because there's some brilliant cricketers in this side. Just not quite clicking.
I mean, the Zoo's an interesting choice.
Yeah, don't know why it came to me first. It's a good zoo, though.
Chester Zoo?
Yeah.
Is it have you been to Blackpool Zoo?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
Should I?
Well, I just wondered if you could compare the two for us.
No. But maybe next year, if there's a one-day cup game up there, I can combine them both, 2-day trip. Pencil it in. Fernandez is in, and Balderson is using his feet. See, even that's a little bit more positive. Just showing the bowler that you're not just going to sit there and allow him to do the same thing over and over. I know there's no run, it's still 129 for 5. Balderson has 5. To turn that into the leg side, but he's turned it straight to Stoneman. Always difficult to field on the square as well. If you field on the squares, they're rock hard. You end up losing most of the skin on your knees and elbows by the end of the season. Can't quite get it away though. George Balderson on the back foot this time, pushing it out to Martin Anderson at cover. He has tried to at least find the single the last 3 balls. Fernandez and Stoneman just having a chat. The young bowler has seen something, has got a feeling, and just saying to his skipper, see a field change. Looks like it's as is, backward point and a short third. Fernandez in, just a little bit short, and Balderson has rocked onto the back foot. It was just a fraction short. It's going to pick him up 4, I think. Noah Cornwall chases it valiantly. Much needed boundary for Lancashire. George Balderson moves on to 9. They move on to 133 for 5.
Yeah, he's found a way of finding a boundary, hasn't he? There, dragging the ball around, plenty of strength and that, muscled out towards wide long on.
Whatever that conversation was, I don't think it involved bowling that ball the next delivery. Last ball the over. Fernandez 0 for 25 or 4.5 so far. That's played off the back foot, this time into the offside. Joe Cracknell comes around, does the fielding, keeps it to 2, gets a big cheer from a group down there. 135 for 5. So 7 off the over. That's better from Lancashire. Flintoff will be on strike on 49. Balderson has 11.
I suppose that's the challenge in this format, isn't it? The middle chunk of your innings here, you can get a little bit bogged down. It can get a little bit tangled up and things slow down a little bit. A positive play by Balderson in that 31st over. Flintoff's a run away from 50 here. 3 times he's gone past his previous top score in List A cricket in this group campaign, and this is comfortably his highest to date. Daps the ball out towards the leg side. And it's picked up at mid-wicket by Martin Anderson. There's no run. There's a long off and a long on. There's a deep mid-wicket. Deep point as well. Over the wicket to Flintoff, who drives for a single through mid-off. And 16-year-old Rocky Flintoff, first appearance here at Emirates Old Trafford, gets himself his maiden List A half-century. 50 off 77 balls, 4 fours and a 6. And plenty of smiles from his teammates on the balcony. Very nicely done for Rocky Flintoff. 50 not out, 136 for 5.
A couple of lovely shots in there as well. See little delicate sweeps, some booming drives, and that's 6 down the ground off Nathan Fernandez not so long ago.
Worked out to the leg side, slapped away by Balderson over mid-wicket. And 4 runs, 140 for 5 now.
It's half a cry catch here. I think Mark Stoneman was, to be honest, more in danger there. Yeah. Absolutely flew at him.
He's at quite short, straight mid-wicket, isn't he, Stoneman? And that was slapped right over his head. And Firing line there was the Middlesex skipper. Clip it down towards fine leg. Balderson picked up inside the circle by Noah Cornwell, and there is no run. Offside field well guarded as Balderson off the back foot tries to find the gap. Picked up by Sam Robson in at cover. 140 for 5. Final ball of the 32nd over. Streaky single by Balderson, but he keeps the strike with it. Takes him on to 16. And it's 141 for 5 at the end of the 32nd over. With Rocky Flintoff 50 not out. He has played some lovely shots along the way. Driving straight down the ground. Back over the top for a big hit for 6. Little paddles around the corner for 4. He's enjoyed his first game in Lancashire's first 11 here at Emirates Old Trafford, and a lovely moment to get to 50 as well. Just pushing it towards mid-off, and acknowledges the support from the members. Nicely battered Rocky Flintoff.
Yeah, it's battered beautifully. Probably only half a job done though if his team were to post anything substantial. Nathan Fernandez is in, and Balderson, who showed good intent since he came in, a 16 from 23, pushes it back at him. Left-hander on strike, so left armour bowling to him. And those two keeping it between themselves for the time being, just pushes it back at Fernandez. Floodlights are creeping on. Creeping's probably not quite the right word for lights being turned on, is it? Fernandez is in, Balderson using his feet, pushes it down the ground for a single where Noah Cornwell will do the fielding. 142 for 5.
Yeah, kind of flickering into action a bit, aren't they, the floodlights?
Yeah. Flickering is probably a better description. Fernandez, left arm around the wicket to Flintoff. Just reached 50 from 77 balls. He's had to be patient. Lost partners, a fair few of them. It's that hard, cries a catch, but it's well to the right of short cover. Will just be a single though. Moves to 51. Almost at full beam now on those floodlights. Gone on the days of someone having to wind them up. Taking about half an hour to turn them on and off. Back foot from Balderson, who hits that firmly down the ground, but again, just one, but good intent. 4 from the over. So Fernandez has bowled 6 overs, 0 for 31. No, he hasn't quite. He's got 1 ball left. Scorecard was too quick for me.
There's been a sense of trying to be a little bit more urgent in the last couple of overs by 2 batters here.
Fernandez in. Flintoff turns it into the leg side for another single. So Fernandez has 6 overs, 0 for 31. Lancashire 145 for 5. Flintoff 52 from 79. Balderson 18 from 27.
It's not been risky cricket either, has it? Just been pretty steady, sensible cricket. Work the ball around. Just try and put a little bit of pressure back on the bowlers. Scenes here in Manchester look like it could be November really, with the floodlights on and dark cloud in the distance.
I came to a gig here in the summer. I came to a couple actually, I was very lucky. But the Green Day one is the only time I've ever seen bright sunshine and pouring rain at the same time. It was very weird.
Joystick airs continues from the James Anderson end, just tapped back towards him by Rocky Flintoff, and there's no run.
Only in Manchester that. What it did mean was a beautiful rainbow. Yeah, a bit surreal. Half the ground was getting wet, half the ground was sunbathing.
Flintoff from 52. Places down toward long on for 1. He's on to 53, 146 for 5. Left-hander Balderson back on strike. Back around the wicket from the off spinner forward in defence. And there There is no run. 146 for 5 here on the BBC Sport website and app, and across Lancs TV. And the Metrobank One Day Cup. Bolderson driving down the ground. Oh, terrific catch. Again, another excellent catch. A return catch this time to Josh De Caires off his own bowling. We saw Luke Holman take a spectacular one-handed catch to dismiss Venkatesh Iyer early in the innings. And now Bolderson having to depart. Good work by the off-spinner. Good low catch. Bolderson goes for 18. Lancashire lose a 7th wicket just as they were starting, or trying at least, to try and find a bit of momentum and play a little bit more attacking cricket, and he's just chipped it back to the bowler and takes a good catch.
He was taking a risk by playing against the turn. He was just trying to push it down to long on, wasn't he, for a single. Gets that leading edge. De Caires reacted quickly. Good low catch. But a big smile on his face. Less angry than Luke Holman at taking his wickets. He's almost smiling before he's taken the catch there, Josh De Caires. Very casual. Carries on. Picks it up, flicks the ball away and carries on chewing his chewing gum.
Yeah, neat work off his own bowling. Just trying to press on a little bit, haven't they, Lancashire, in the last 3 or 4 overs. For them, an untimely wicket, that. Partnership was just developing. Not been too many big partnerships in the innings. Fonseca and Flintoff, by far the biggest, with 58. Flintoff and Bolderson just heading on 28 runs there. Harry Singh's the new batter. He's back with 2 of the youngsters to try and find another partnership. Singh, who was opening the batting in this competition for Lancashire, coming in at number 8 now.
And so in that sense, you could say not a bad player to come in at number 8. Bit of work to do, that's for sure.
De Caires over the wicket to Singh. Does well off his own bowling again, just galloping away to his right, one-handed stop. 146 for 6, Lancashire, 34th over. Final ball of it into Singh. Drilled down the ground. Again, good work off his own bowling. Leaping out towards his right-hand side, jumping across Flintoff at the non-striker's end, just to make sure there wasn't a possibility of a single there to end the over. Just the 1 run off it and the wicket as well. 3 overs for Josh De Caires, gone for 10, picked up the 1 wicket. Lancashire 146 for 6.
It's going to be young Fernandez to continue from the Brian Statham media centre end. It's a tap on the back from Mark Stoneman. Are we delighted with the way his side have gone so far? Be interesting to know what they would have done. What they were asked to do was have a bowl, and it's gone pretty well. Just that one partnership of note between Flintoff and Fonseca. Flintoff on strike, still there on 53, pushes defensively. And Martin Hanson does the fielding at mid-wicket. 53 off 82 balls, so just slowed down a little bit. Flintoff has had to. Just bat sensibly, he's batted beautifully, barely a false shot. Not sure I remember one actually from him. Being in complete control. Drives that into the ground and into Mark Stoneman's chest, I think it was, at the end, at short cover. His designer stubble. Brilliant signing from Middlesex a couple of years ago from Surrey. He's been a brilliant player, a lovely career. Little dab, we've seen that a couple of times from Flintoff. Didn't quite get hold of that one, it was in the air for a little bit. Ethan Bamber scrambles around. It's almost a short square leg, or just normal square leg. Even a bit finer, may have been chance of a catch, but it's just a single. Move Flintoff onto 54.
Yeah, it's been quite profitable, that shot, hasn't it, for Flintoff? A little paddle around the corner.
Slip in for Harry Singh. Couple of balls into his innings, yet to get off the mark. Sam Robson at slip. Backward point is quite short. fielders around. And that's a nice looking shot from Harry Singh, but it's straight to Martin Anderson at mid-wicket. 4-no run, 147 for 6. Just the 1 run off Fernandez's 7th over thus far. Floodlights are firmly on now. It's a little bit brighter around Emirates Old Trafford. This one is pushed straight to Noah Cornwall though at mid-off, so Singh not quite able to get him away. 1 ball left of Fernandez's 7th over. Not 32. Cornwall sent down to long off, happy to give Singh the strike. Singh goes aerially just to the right of Martin Anderson at short mid-wicket. Will just be a single because Joe Cracknell is out there. So Harry Singh does retain the strike. He's off the mark, 148 for 6, 35 gone, so 15 to go in this Lancashire innings Metrobank One Day Cup game between them and Middlesex. Rocky Flintoff has 54, Harry Singh has just the 1.
Well, it's enjoyable watching some of those highlights of Flintoff, wasn't it, before that boundaries he's got in this innings, 4 fours and that 6 back over the bowler's head. Rotated the strike well. He's enjoyed a good partnership with Fonseca.
Didn't 3 of those 4s come in the same over? Didn't he go bang bang against Cornwall?
I think he did. Yeah, he did. Singh on strike. Over number 36 for Lancashire, shuffling back and across and whipping the ball away to the leg side. Gathered by Martin Anderson at mid-wicket, no run.
The difficulty we've got, Scott, here is I don't know what a good score is
no.
because of the way they batted and the way they've lost wickets.
Gets in and bowls to Singh. That's driven away into the offside, no run. And that's a good point, isn't it? On what looks like as well a pretty tacky pitch, doesn't it? It's obviously a used pitch. And what Lancashire will think is defendable, having been out there and batted on it for a wee while. Run down to 3rd man by Singh. Below from face of the bat, bends his knees and steers it along the ground for a single. Doubles his total. Lancashire edging towards the 150 mark, 149 for 6.
I don't think they're in a good position,
no.
even on a tacky pitch. Funny, isn't it? Look, on outgrounds you're getting brand new pitches because it's a big day for the club, but actually if you come onto the main grounds, there's a lot of used pitches at this point in the summer.
Single for Flintoff. Back into his crease, up onto his toes, and then just whips it out towards the leg side. Holland's on the deep mid-wicket boundary.
And that isn't, by the way, intended to be a criticism of ground stuff, because they do a wonderful job as a 150 comes up for Lancashire. They have these spreadsheets where they're having to try and plan where they can have all these pitches for all the games, and then you get all the rain over the winter and the summer. Not easy.
Singh plays off the front foot. Again, cares he's good off his own bowling. I suppose you should be, shouldn't you? But he's gone darting away to his left to try and get something on it to stop the ball. Singh does get a single. 1-5-1 for 6.
Presume this green one here in the middle in front of us is going to be the test match pitch.
Cares in and bowls to Flintoff. Drives down the ground. There goes De Cares again, leaping away to his left, cartwheeling away, trying to stop the ball. He can't. Single for Flintoff, 56 to him now. End of the over, 1-5, 2 for 6.
Yeah, that little flurry of momentum has gone. That wicket changed it. There are the ground staff. It's one of those days where they're on high alert, aren't they? I wonder which one of those. Some of the younger ones are probably on their weather apps the whole time. More experienced guys will say, well, they just know. They know when it's going to rain.
Can smell it in the air.
Yeah, they have a sense. Just get a little tingle. The hairs on the neck start to stand up. Time to grab the covers. So much cricket. Fernandez to continue. Long on, long off or out for Flintoff. He's on the back foot, pushing it wide of Sam Robson, who for a second thought he was going to try and cut that off, and then I went, Luke Coleman, you're out there. They're going to get a single anyway.
Always amazes me at Edgbaston how I don't think Warwickshire play any or very, very few games away from Edgbaston. And they seem to play the majority of all their cricket at Edgbaston. The amount of games that are played at that ground.
Fernandez in. Lovely looking shot. Just chipped down the ground. I think that's going to split the two fielders. It was a valiant effort from Noah Cornwall. Couldn't get there though. Harry Singh has his first boundary. Really, really straight. Nice shot. He moves on 7. Lancashire 157 for 6. Holds his shape beautifully there, Harry Singh.
This ground gets a little bit of respite. They've played 2 championship matches away from here already. They've been at Blackpool and at Southport. They've played one-day games at Sedbergh and at Blackpool.
Fernandez in around the wicket. I'm not sure if that's a bit of pad or a bit of bat, but it's going to run away down towards the boundary. Ethan Bamber is going to chase it. Slows up in the pitch a little bit. Not sure if Ethan Bamber hasn't messed that up though. Yeah, he signalled it straight away. He thinks it was. He's just double checking. Honest from Ethan Bamber. He was trying to slide and pull it back, and I think he ended up pulling it back into his own hand or body. Made a bit of a mess of it.
Seemed to get a bit tangled up, didn't he?
A little bit of bat on it too. So Harry Singh moves on to 11 from 11. Back-to-back boundaries. He'll feel good about life.
Lancashire actually building a second ground.
I saw that, yeah. Looks impressive.
Just outside Preston.
Fernandez around the wicket. Push down the ground. They wait because Mark Stoneman is there. It goes past him though. At short extra cover. Noah Cornwall does the fielding. Pick up a single. Singh moves to a dozen. 2 pitches, is it right there, Paul?
Yeah. So I think there's one that would be used for the community. One that will be used for the cricket club.
Fernandez to Flintoff, a son of Preston. Just a single down the ground. Or a son of Preston. I'm not sure where Rocky Flintoff was born. Grandson of Preston. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
So I think they're going to play some second team cricket there, age group cricket there, women's cricket there, and first team cricket there. So that venue will help, I think, try and ease a little bit of the pressure on playing here.
Fernandez in. Singh trying to ease some pressure on Lancashire. Doesn't quite get hold of that one. Just a single into the leg side. Slightly sloppy throw from Bamber. End of the over. 8 done from Fernandez. 37 in the innings. 164 for 6. Will it be an academy? Is it going to have an indoor school and things like that attached to it?
No, I think that's still going to be based here.
Okay.
The pavilion, which will serve both pitches. In the centre, I think there's going to be 18 pitches across the square that Lancashire will have as well. So it's quite a big oval that they'll have use of, and they're very fortunate. Lancashire, they've got some brilliant outgrounds that they can use, and Southport, Blackpool, Sedbergh at the minute are the 3 that they tend to use. Liverpool I don't think it's too far away, so they've got the option of having lots of really good outgrounds. But I suppose it means that they don't have to rely on that, that they can have a second base that is their own, that they can kind of manage and run themselves. Driven away by Singh to cover where Stoneman fields, no run.
Looks in good touch, Harry Singh. Hitting the ball, striking it well.
Just dropping down the order potentially might just help to free him up a little bit. Certainly has that licence here, and he's trying to find some momentum off the front foot. Sends it back down the pitch. Gathered by Josh Tikez off his own bowling, no run. Singh on 13, 164 for 6. Down he comes again. That's a nice shot, worked through mid-off. Just for 1. He's used his feet nicely to the spinners as Harry Singh. Takes him on to 14 not out. 165 for 6 now. Halfway through the 38th over. Flintoff is back on strike. And happy just to take 1. Clipped out to square leg. Sam Robson fields. Flintoff moves on to 59. 166 for 6. Gets in and balls to Singh, and that's played from deep in the crease. Off the back foot, punched up towards mid-on. No run. Floodlights now in full effect. Singh waits and comes down again and works the ball into the offside. Stoneman low to his right, one-handed partial stop. Did get underneath his body, but he was quick up onto his feet, Mark Stoneman, to make sure there wasn't a chance of a second for Singh. Having got through the first quickly. And he keeps the strike as well. Singh to 15. Flintoff's on 59. Lancashire have got 12 overs, potentially 12 overs remaining. There is a possibility that if whether it takes a turn for the worse, that might not be the case. But at the minute, it's okay. 1-6-7 for 6. 38 overs gone.
So we've been talking about sons of, fathers of in this tournament a lot. Probably will do for a long time. I think I'm right in saying that Singh's dad played a couple of ODIs for India, is it? So he's another one that people will have an eye on. Naturally, he's played for England under 19s, presumably.
He has.
Who hasn't?
Yes, he has. He's in the squad of 75.
So he's a little bit older than that now, isn't he? So it would have been the last couple of years.
Yeah, the sons of it's quite scary, isn't it, I suppose, if you get to a certain age and you're watching these young lads and you remember either watching or indeed commentating on their dads.
Ethan Bamber then into the attack, or back into the attack from the Brian Statham Media Centre end. 12 overs to go. Ethan Bamber can potentially bowl 4 of them. 6 overs, 2 mains, 1 for 9 is his work thus far today. As Singh is defending straight to mid-wicket for no run. The problem is, though, there'll be sons of England international cricketers around the country right now who will be so bored of their friends and family turning to them, well, his son's playing for England, why aren't you playing professional cricket? It'd be such a dull joke for them. You can imagine it, can't you? Oh, well, Michael Vaughan's son's playing professional cricket. Flicked into the leg side and away for 4. Nice looking shot from Singh, who's looked really good since he's gone out there. He's moved to 19. That was nonchalant. Flicked away. There's a fielder out there at deep mid-wicket, goes wide of him. That's our camera crew are predicting a little bit of rain. They're starting to set themselves up a little bit of shelter. Fair play to camera crew. They're out there in all weather, long days. Don't think I could do that job, partly because I don't like the sun, so I like to be in an air-conditioned room watching cricket. Here's Bamber. Singh plays a nice shot, but straight to mid-on for no run. Henry Brooks does the fielding. 171 for 6. Yeah, people often think, and they maybe say the same to you, you spend your days watching cricket, must really enjoy the sunshine and the heat. No, I'm behind glass.
Yes.
The outgrounds are quite nice in that sense. You get to feel a bit of fresh air. Henry Brooks just starting to warm up again at mid-on as well. Bamber is in, 54 on his back, slower ball. Singh waits for it, can't quite get it away. It's going straight to Stoneman. He's been busy in the covers. Henry Brooks' warm-up routine just getting a little bit more vigorous at mid-on. It's a long way down for him to hit those toes. And you just saw a flash of him in the background. He's been brilliant so far. Twice he's been turned to by Mark Stoneman, and twice he's picked up wickets in the first over of his 2 spells. 7 overs, 2 for 21. Bamber is in. Singh's gone aerial. Had he got over Noah Cornwall? No, he hasn't. He has to go. It's been a bright innings. 19 from 22 balls, but he's fallen. He's become the 7th wicket. Ethan Bamber has his 2nd. He was looking to accelerate, looking to go over the top. Just didn't quite get enough of it, and Noah Cornwall is a tall man, takes the catcher mid-off.
Yeah, running away to his left, fingertips above his head. And always looked like he would take the catch. Singh trying to be positive, going for the big shot. Just not enough on it to clear mid-off. Cornwall using all his height, just a little leap off the ground to take the catch. It's bright and breezy from Harry Singh, 19 from 23, 3 fours in that. But Middlesex continuing to chip away. Taken 7 wickets, 171 for 7. Singh departing for 19.
That's 3 times Mark Stoneman then has brought on bowlers who've taken wickets in their first over. Brooks twice, now Bamber. I don't know if that was a slightly scrambled seam, wobbled team, he bowled a slower ball. He's worked really hard, and actually that debut we were talking about a little bit earlier against Surrey, Bamber's had to go away and think about it. He doesn't bowl with any great pace, but maybe he's watched someone like Sam Cook, who has become a brilliant white ball bowler despite his lack of pace, as Tom Bailey is the next man out for Lancashire, and Bamber's had to just work on those variations.
I suppose this type of pitch might suit that as well. You can produce some slower balls, some cutters as well. That might be the type of wicket we're on here that might benefit that. And it's difficult to know actually whether or not Lancashire have got a good score here with this. It's hard to tell really. Be interested to see how Middlesex go about whatever it is that they're set. But I mean, I was out there for the toss and listened to what the captains were saying. It just, I mean, I mentioned it's a pitch that's been used, and it doesn't look like it's a. Well, it's not a quick hard surface at all. It's not a pitch that you're going to get 280, 300 on. So this could yet still be quite a decent score. This for Lancashire.
Bailey on strike, his first ball. And he defends it to Stoneman, who flicks out the back of his hand at the non-striker's end.
No, he wasn't.
He didn't have his bat down.
Cheeky, that wasn't it?
Lively from Stoneman. 71 for 7. He's turned to every. Bowlers have backed him up nicely. Yeah, if you look at some of those economy rates, Bamber 1.9 off 7 overs, Henry Brooks just 3 and over off 7, Holman 8 overs, economy rate of just above 4, 4.38.
We are going to see Brooks return as well, so prized out the 7th wicket. Bamber coming back in to get that 7th wicket. Stoneman goes back to Brooks as well. 7 overs, 2 for 21. Back to his 2 premier bowlers here.
Just feels like Stoneman has gone, right, they're on the ropes here, we're going to finish them off. All right, we've still got 11 overs left. These two have only got 6 between them, but let's do the job in 45 overs, bowl them out.
Flintoff on strike for the return of Brooks. Just dabs the ball away into the offside. A couple of stray pigeons lurking around on the edge of the square.
Though Flintoff won't mind these changes too much, I don't think. I think a little bit more pace, particularly Brooks, might suit him. Good value for his shots. We saw him take a bit of a shine to Noah Cornwall earlier on. He's only bowled 4 overs, and the reason for that is he went for 38 runs with them.
171 for 7. Brooks from the Anderson end bowls to Flintoff. That's pushed up towards the leg side. Nathan Fernandez comes across from mid-wicket to his left, maybe 4 or 5 paces to his left to field. And there's no runner. We've got a couple of brollies up by the looks of it.
Oh dear.
A bit of rain around.
They've still not got on down at Edgy, have they?
No, they haven't.
I don't know why I just called it Edgy. I've never called it that before.
Yeah, no, I like it. I'm going with that. Edgy's fine.
It's raining at Edgy. They've had a toss, that's about it.
Well, that's quite exciting. Brooks is in to Flintoff. It's Paul down to fine leg. Cornwall's in position to field for Middlesex. Flintoff to 60 with that, and it's now 172 for 7.
It's not a lot for the social media teams to work with, though, isn't it? Pretty good now. The coverage of county cricket is wonderful. Only so many times you can clip up the toss and put a different, whatever they do, filters on it and a bit of music.
Try and jazz it up a bit.
Yeah. Slow-mo replay of the in stages.
Of the coin coming down in slow motion, yeah.
Bit of dramatic music on the back of it. Lovely.
172 for 7. Bailey waits as Brooks sets off again. Striding in over the wicket, bowls to Bailey, slip in place. He's defended to mid-off. It must be a little bit of grease around, a little bit of drizzle falling, and the ball a little bit slippy. Towels being required to dry the ball. He's not belting it down, but it's obviously just a little bit of rain in the air. It's getting 1 or 2 supporters to huddle under a brolly. A few brollies up in front of the hotel on the far side. 172 for 7. Brooks to Bailey, short, and through to the keeper. And there's your 1 for the over, says the umpire. 2 fielders on the leg side boundary. Should Bailey look to try and take that pull hook shot on? There's a deep square leg and the fine leg. 1 slip, mid-on, mid-off, cover, point, and fielder out on the cover boundary below the hotel. Brooks to Bailey again. It's in the air, but it's chipped over mid-on, and it's racing up towards the boundary. There's a chase on by Nathan Fernandez, and he does get to it, claws the ball back, and Bailey's run 3 for his first runs. And Lancashire move on to 175 for 7. Bailey onto 3 with that. And that is the end of the over. Oh, it's just got a little bit heavier now, the rain, hasn't it? It's starting to fall a little heavier. The minute, looks like the umpires are happy to go. There's probably somebody under there. There's always somebody under these cameras. Who's under there? Oh. There we go. For the viewers on Lancs TV, there's always someone hidden under a tarpaulin operating the camera.
Chat now between umpires Pratt and Treadwell. The issue is if they come off in this, and they're going to keep going. The forecast is just steady rain, isn't it? If you come off in this now, no. They tried.
They did, yeah. They kind of had a brief chat. Let's carry on, but maybe just getting a little bit heavy.
Yeah, it's a shame. To be honest, Lancashire will be the happier, I think of the two sides. Even though actually it might be a 240 pitch, so they might be in a decent position if they can not lose wickets. As we hear the cover, the hover cover, fired up. So rain has brought us a break in play. 40 overs. Rocky Flintoff has 60. He's going to be the key to this Lancashire innings. Middlesex will be a bit disappointed to be going off because they've got a little bit of momentum. They've bowled really well. They've barely bowled a bad ball. Picked up wickets at regular intervals. Yes, there's been one partnership between Flintoff and Fonseca, but as a fielding side, you expect to see a partnership. Umpires Pratt and Treadwell did their best to keep them out there, but rain just too heavy.
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. They did. They played on through a bit of drizzle, didn't they? And they had a chat about carrying on, but just got a little bit too heavy. So the hover cover is out there on the in the middle. The two umpires at the minute, well, I think they're staying out or going back in. Maybe they're going to head back towards the dressing rooms. So the players have disappeared. Flintoff, we just saw Rocky Flintoff sprinting back up the stairs, didn't we, and back into the Lancashire dressing room. So he's enjoyed a really good day. 60 not out for Rocky Flintoff. He's battered really well. A really kind of mature innings, isn't it, by Flintoff? He's took his time when the spinners came on just to give them a bit of a sighter, and then looked to try and score one big shot for 6, but worked the ball nicely. But all round, a really mature innings from a 16.
I'm trying to think if he's had the outside edge beaten. I don't think he has. I don't think he's really given half a chance. Maybe a couple of those paddle sweeps could have gone to hand, but it's felt like he gauged quite early on that this, because it's very easy as a young batter, having grown up watching T20 cricket and watching England go, well, we need to get 400 minimum in a 50 over game, otherwise we failed, to get into that sort of mindset, think, well, that's what I need to do, and then to, oh, I'm behind a run of ball, I need to actually try and play some shots and do things a little bit silly, whereas Flintoff seems to have gauged a pitch and gone, all right, we're not in a great position, but if I can bat 50 overs and get us to 240, then that gives us a bit of a sniff. So yeah, maturity for a 16-year-old, way beyond his years.
So the standout for Lancashire, along with Kesh Fonseca, who Sam mentioned there, batted very, very nicely for his 42 in that. So far, the biggest partnership in Lancashire's innings, 58 between those two young Lancashire batters. This is how these partnerships are looking, actually. 58 between Fonseca and Flintoff is the standout. There's been a couple of starts, hasn't there? Flintoff and Balderson, and then Flintoff and Singh. But two young batters there for Lancashire with the biggest partnership of the innings. So we're off for rain with Lancashire on 175 for 7. I mentioned the Warwickshire Glamorgan rain delay at Edgbaston. In Scarborough, Yorkshire are playing Leicestershire. And there's the views from Scarborough. Oh, it looks busy there. Good crowd again at Scarborough.
Place to be. When is it ever not, in fairness?
Quite, yeah. Nice sunny conditions. That's how the Yorkshire scorecard looks. They won 62 for 6. So they're playing against Leicestershire. It's the only other game that's taking place.
Here he is, my favourite cricketer. Perfectly timed. Ian Holland, nicknamed the Dutchie. No idea why.
A couple of wickets for Holland. He's enjoyed his day. Well, the ground staff are heading back towards the pavilion, and we're off for a bit of rain around. Hopefully not for too long. Fingers crossed. We'll be able to resume Lancashire's innings. At the minute, 40 overs gone, 175 for 7, Flintoff 60, Bailey on 3. We'll take a break and hopefully back with you soon.
"1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns, where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. 'Cause it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that? How's that?
How's that?
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
Will these two stay out there after a drink? And that's a huge sip over to the Hilton review system. 3 reds, no doubt at all. And up goes the finger. When it has to be absolutely plumb, it matters where you stay.
Hi, I'm Keaton and this is Luke. We are the giraffe opening pair at Lancashire Cricket Club. We are here today at the Mistoria Estate Agents. Let's see what they have in store for us. One of the highlights for me probably was making my Test debut. You aspire to play international cricket, and I think for me making that Test debut in Mumbai was a special moment I think I'll look back on.
Property is potentially an option that, well, I've already started to go down. I'd like to explore more options in the future for sure. I've seen how positive an investment strategy that can be.
If I could, I get a little clay pigeon shot up in the garden. Well, I'm not entirely sure the neighbours would be all too happy with it, but yeah, a little clay pigeon trap.
The idea of dealing with the day-to-day stress of everything that comes with being a landlord isn't something that I would necessarily want to be a part of, to be honest. So using an experienced agent like Mistoria would definitely be something I'd be interested in.
I think it's our devilishly good looks, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure where the reference comes from.
I think it's fairly self-explanatory.
I think just making sure the advice you're getting is aligned with your goals. It's a big investment, it's a large chunk of your savings, so to make sure it's taken care of and taken care of in a really sort of professional manner.
Certain bits of it, but the heritage of the club is actually everywhere you look. So there will be a new heritage of the being that was done over the last year. So many people say they're both.
Hi Noah. Nice to meet you.
Can you believe it? No. I can't stop smiling. I'm trying not to.
Yeah, sit.
All the fun and all the games, they all start here with All Stars Cricket. All new experiences for everyone. All over the country. Every session is all-out action all the time. All welcome, all invited. Even mums and dads. Skills, friendships, smiles, dreams. It all happens here. All you need is delivered right to your door. Best of all, it even has your name on it. All the activators are fully trained. And all they want is for us to have a great time. Always. That, ball, catch, throw, try it all. It's time to go all in, all together. And it all starts with All Stars. All you need to get started is at allstarscricket.co.uk.
2 local favourites are staying at the Hilton Garden Inn. She's gone for the chip. My goodness me. It's over to the Hilton review system. A big bite! Gone! When lunch is the best part of the day, it matters where you stay.
1954.
So we're heading back out after a short delay due to rain, and I think we just heard that this game now is 48 overs per side, so we lost a couple of overs. The two batters head out to the middle, Flintoff and Bailey. The cover went on, the main pitch cover went on, and then the extra sheets to protect the bowler's run-ups, and it looked like actually we could be in for quite a lengthy delay, but thankfully the shower kind of disappeared almost as quickly as it arrived, so we're out there with not too much delay neither, which is excellent. So 175 for 7. So viewers on Lancs TV, that the details on the screen there are just not quite right, but they'll get up to date. The overs remaining are 8, not 10. So it's now 48 overs per side rather than the 50 over per side game. So just having lost a couple of overs, but not too bad. Sam, it looked like it was set for a while, that.
Well, I nipped down for a comfort break, thinking, oh, we were... As soon as the sheeting comes on, the umpire stayed out and chatted to the ground staff as Noah Cornwall is going to resume. Just the 4 overs for him so far. They've been quite expensive. What's he got now? Starts with a back of a length ball to Bailey, who pushes it out into the offside, and they just have 3. So you think, oh no, because what umpires do is say, look, ground staff, you know, they probably call them by their names, but they say, you know this well, what's happening here? And they just said, oh, maybe set in, okay, bring the sheeting out. And I came out and was delighted to see that we were ready to get underway again. It feels like cricket shoots itself in the foot a little bit as Cornwall, left arm seamer, young fast bowler, beats the outside edge of Bailey with an absolute beauty. Did we need to lose effectively 4 overs from the game for having come off for 10-15 minutes at a test venue with floodlights? I don't know.
No, I don't. I always thought there was a little bit of time you could absorb. I say it was 10 minutes, wasn't it? But
and I don't know if the regulations of this competition are maybe baked around there being a lot of outground cricket where you couldn't do that, as Cornwall, I think, takes the pace off and he's flicked wide of mid-on. Ethan Bamber does brilliantly to cut it off. I thought that might well have been a boundary for Tom Bailey. It's not just a single. Bamber immediately pulls the flannel from, not his back pocket, but just where it was wedged in between his... I'm going to stop that description now, you know what I mean. He's drying the ball off. Still a little bit of moisture on the outfield, as you would expect. It has been raining. Lancashire 176 for 7. Flintoff on 60. Flintoff can bat these next 8 overs. It could be a decent total, this, from Lancashire. Pace off again from Cornwall. Fielded at mid-wicket by Josh De Cares. Good stuff from Noah Cornwall. Pretty rapid rise. You're always going to turn heads when you bowl left arm with a decent bit of pace. Only signed his first pro deal ahead of this summer. As I was saying a little bit earlier on, has had his issues with his back. Missed the whole of last summer. Oh, and that's a short ball. Flintoff, that's probably the first shot where Flintoff's been out of control. Just doesn't quite get up. He was through it quite quickly and lost his balance as he was trying to play the pull shot. Dot ball. This is good from Cornwall, who was a tad expensive up top. There was an over actually from this end. I think it was the last over, young Noah Cornwall bowled, where Flintoff hit him for 3 boundaries in the over. Took a little bit of a shine to him, but this has been better. Pace off has been the way to go. Just a single pushed out towards the extra cover by Flintoff. He moves on to 61. 177 for 7. End of the over. First over back after that rain delay. We have 7 remaining. We're down to a 48 over game, and it's 177 for 7 Lancashire.
Yeah, and which might be a decent score. It's tricky to know, really, especially when you've got a bit of rain around. If that is going to affect potentially the second innings of the match and the Middlesex run chase, if forecast was for it to be potentially a little bit more consistent with the rain later on this afternoon. So yeah, we could be in for quite a decent game if we do get enough time to have a proper match without too many more interruptions. 177 for 7. Luke Holman is going to return potentially Well, what's he got left? Yeah, 2. So this will be his final couple of overs. He's bowling from the Jimmy Anderson end. 2 for 35. Including a good catch off his own bowling. Get rid of Venkatesh Iyer. Hit it back to Holman. He went diving away low to his left. One-handed catch. One of his 2 victims in this game. I'm being distracted because the screen to my left is of someone eating fish and chips there. It's keep catching my eye, doesn't it? Here's Holman in and bowls to Flintoff. And that's played up towards the long on boundary for a single.
I was hoping that rain today might bring us a bit of lunch. And they were just starting to put it out, and I thought, oh no, I can't. If we're going back on, I can't be doing that. Yeah, standard Scarborough fare.
Yep, can't go to Scarborough without getting a chippy, can you really? Holman to Bailey. Single for Tom Bailey. Just nudged down the ground. Sam Robson's on the long on boundary. There's 3 fielders on the boundary on the leg side. So long on, deep mid wicket, and then the deep square leg. Long off and deep point as well. Short third man, short fine leg, backward point, and then Stoneman, who's kind of fielding kind of wide mid off, in between mid off and cover really. Actually put himself now really at cover. Having gone across to have a brief chat with his bowler, and Holman's into Flintoff, whipped away, plenty of bottom hand, stepped to the leg side and flicks it out towards Nathan Fernandez on the deep mid-wicket boundary. Takes a single, Flintoff to 63. And Lancashire now 180 for 7. Gets Bailey back on strike. Another change to the field, so they put another man in on the leg side, inside the circles, and there's now a short mid-wicket. Holman spins the ball from one hand to the other, twirls his way back in, his leg spinner, short and wide down the leg side. Quicker ball by Holman, but a wide call by the umpire. 181 for 7.
Yeah, I like the move to bring the leg spinner back, by the way.
Into Bailey, that's defended to the leg side, no run.
Just hoping, got a couple over, well, an over and a half left now, but just, can we pick up a couple of quick wickets? Maybe Bailey's eyes can light up. Try and disrupt them.
Holman to Bailey off the front foot. Works it through mid-off. Just for the single, Bailey to 6. It's 182 for 7. Flintoff comes back on strike. Holman back in to Flintoff, goes on the reverse and just about gets it beyond the reach of the fielder. Dive came in, he hit it firmly though, Flintoff, the reverse sweep. Gets 4 for it. Early decision to go on the reverse. Away from the reach of the fielder. Down towards the boundary, and 4 runs, 186 for 7. Flintoff to 67 not out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was half a chance. It looked like Bamber had taken a little step to his left, thinking it was going to go a little bit finer, and then it went to his right. He was at full stretch. But a nice shot from Rocky Flintoff, who just wanders away in his own little zone. He's batted beautifully for his 67. 16 years old. But the temperament, I tell you what, is of someone who's been playing cricket at this level for a long, long time. No Cornwall to continue as the pigeons break from just above Tom Bailey, who is defending back down the ground, to Cornwall, who's into his 6th over now. Bailey's got 6, Flintoff's got 67. That run rate 4.41. So if you keep that going for the 50 overs, it gets you to about 220. They can just get a little boost, a little energy boost at the end, like when you're playing Mario Kart and you get that little boost of energy, a little flurry as that's pushed into the offside. I think they're going to get at least 2. Luke Holman is very good out there in the outfield. He slides and gets a little bit of assistance from the wet grass, keeps it down to a couple. What I was trying to say was a little flurry gets you to 240, and I reckon that makes a really good game of it. Although I then never know if we do get rain what the calculations do, whose favour they work in. Oh, I don't know. Whether Lancashire's total will get boosted because we're down to 48
I get very confused by these things.
There's no point trying to second guess or even guess. Opens the face. Cornwall into Bailey, into the offside. Backward point, Martin Anderson does fielding. Haven't seen him with ball in hand yet. Get the feeling we won't now, given how late we're in. Late stage in the game we're in.
Yeah, I was quite surprised by that. I just assumed he would bowl, but then looking at what he's actually not bowled that much, has he, in this competition? He's only bowled 8 overs in the group stage.
In comes Cornwall to Bailey, short ball pulled away, swivels it. That's a lovely shot. There's a fielder at deep square leg and there's a fielder at fine leg, and that goes all the way along the ground, right between them. It was at the back of the hand. He rolled the wrist on that really nicely, Tom Bailey. Let's have another look at that. There he goes, almost like a topspin forehand. Made sure that was along the deck. Nice shot. 192 for 7. Martin Anderson's an interesting one. Very talented cricketer. His role seems to change every year, what they want him to do. Or do you want him to open the batting in the power play? Did it a blast season a couple of years ago where he would bowl quite a lot early on? Never quite found his true role, and perhaps that's why he's decided to move on. Is that pushed out into the offside for just a single? Bailey on to 13 from 15 balls.
So he's off as well, is he?
He's going to Derbyshire,
Oh, okay.
Anderson.
Can't keep up.
So we're going to get like a transfer deadline day. We need the yellow ticker.
Indeed, yeah.
Where's Jim White and his tie? Cornwall in, slower ball, pace off. Seems to be the way to go on this pitch. And I don't think he clocked that early. Just a single for Flintoff out to deep cover. It was those pace-on deliveries that were just getting caressed away for early boundaries. But in this sticky, tacky pitch, which I seem to be saying about every one-day cup pitch I've seen so far. I've done games here at Taunton, up at Durham. Tacky pitches, used pitches. 43 gone, 5 overs left, then Lancashire 194 for 7. Flintoff has 68, Bailey has 13.
Holman will bowl out. 2 for 44 from 9 overs. Flintoff 68 not out. So he's marshalling his troops on the boundary. Deep cover, long off, long on, deep mid wicket and deep backward square leg. 5 overs left for Lancashire. Flintoff on 68. Oh, he's down the pitch. Flintoff comes off the inside edge of the bat. Just, disappears out towards the leg side. He's on to 69, 195 for 7. Holman may have just seen him come in there and fired that in. Bailey's back on strike. He's 13 from 15, Tom Bailey's been quite aggressive so far. Off the back foot and just works it back down the pitch to Holman. And there's no run.
Rocky Flintoff does make 100. Not only will it be a lovely moment for him, but that I think will mean that Lancashire have got a score they can defend here. Will fancy defending.
Holman to Bailey. Chipped away into the offside. Stopped by Mark Stoneman at cover, no run. To Bailey, that's worked off the front foot through the leg side, just in front of square. Back comes Henry Brooks from the square leg boundary. Single for Bailey, takes him on to 14. 196 for 7. So edging towards the 200 mark. 4 overs left after this one from Luke Holman. To Flintoff. Played back down the pitch and gathered by Holman off his own bowling, and there's no run. Final ball for Luke Holman today. First bowler to get through his allotted 10. Flintoff's down the ground to him, in the air, and bouncing in front of long on. And Flintoff moves on to 70, and that's the end of the 44th over, 4 left. And for Luke Holman today, he has completed 10 overs and picked up 2 for 47. 4 overs remaining for Lancashire, 197 for 7.
We're just waiting to see if we might get that flicker of a smile from Luke Holman. Now he's finished his bowling. Very good effort from him. Very, very good white ball cricket. I'm slightly surprised he wasn't picked up for the 100, actually. I think teams have missed a trick there. Middlesex will be delighted he hasn't. Dynamic cricketer for them, might be key with the bat, as Mark Stoneman almost certainly will be. Just having a chat to Ethan Bamber. 4 overs left, and actually losing 2 overs makes his job a little bit easier as a skipper in terms of finding people to bowl those death overs. He doesn't mind it too much. So Cornwall bowled that 1 over after the rain delay, and now we've got Ethan Bamber back into the attack. He has got 2 left, which means I'd imagine he will finish off from this Brian Statham media centre end, and Henry Brooks, who's got 2 left, will finish off the Jimmy Anderson end. And so those 2 overs have just helped Mark Stoneman. He might have had to find another couple, either from Fernandez or De Caires, or no, Cornwall's been a tad expensive. He bowled 2 overs in that last spell. Here's Bamber. Pace off, slower ball. Swing and a miss for Flintoff.
It's bowled beautifully, hasn't he, Bamber, today? 2 for 13. Bowling in the power play as well, and now bowling at the back end.
He's gone for 2 boundaries and 4 singles. So he's bowled 37 dot balls.
What's up here now? Bit of a delay, maybe just
change of ball, is it? Sawdust, maybe?
Sawdust, yeah, a little bit of issue with the bowler's landing, potentially. Dave's going out with his bag of sawdust.
You see the lovely video, the spoof video that Fletch, the Derbyshire commentator, did, where it was a rain delay, and went, oh, so we're going to the ground staff shed. And this is what the ground staff like to do. Actually, what they don't like, it looks really ugly when you put sawdust on the pitch. So the Derbyshire groundsman, he hand paints every fleck of sawdust green. And there were a few people who took it seriously. Oh, he's great on social media. Had it all set up with him just neatly painting.
So they played along with it then? Like
oh yeah, the ground staff were all on board.
Brilliant.
Quite something that, as if there were people that thought if they did paint it, it would be by hand. Bamber in, short third, backward point, short fine leg. Flintoff bunts it down towards long off. They'll think about 2. They're going to come back. Tom Bailey said yes. Flintoff might be in a little bit of trouble here. I think he gets home just about. He was slightly hesitant at the non-striker's end. Henry Brooks is quick. He's a tall man. He made ground well at long off. But Bailey was absolutely certain they were coming back for 2. Proved a good decision. And this field suggests to me they're going to bowl a lot of, Ethan Bamber's going to bowl a lot of pace off. Not so worried about the ball flying over down to third or deep fine leg. The deep square leg, deep mid wicket, long on, long off, deep extra cover. Mark Stoneman is the only man in the ring in Rocky Flintoff's line of sight here. Bamber is in for the 3rd ball of the over. Pace off, Flintoff goes leg side. He's got all of that one. It's lofted away into the back tier of the seats there in front of the hotel. Second 6 of the innings for Rocky Flintoff. Beautiful pick-up. He moves on to 78 Lancashire. Past 200, 205 for 7. It's uncanny, isn't it?
It is,
shot?
isn't it?
I don't like to keep saying it, but even that shot, the way it's played. 78 for him. .26. Bamber, what's he got? Goes Fuller. Flintoff hits that down the ground, but it's a bit closer to Ethan Brooks. Will just be a single. So I had a question, which I thought was an interesting one from Will Unwin, who's one of the Guardian's finest, writes about football, lives up here, Lancashire fan, I think he's a member. He says if Rocky Flintoff is the son of a former pro cricketer that bats or plays the most like their parent, who is the son or daughter of a pro cricketer that is least like their parent? I quite like that as a question. It's one to ponder on. Open to suggestions. Pace off, goes into the leg side, goes over deep mid-wicket. This time it's Tom Bailey into the action. Second 6 of the over, and I think that may well require a replacement chair here at Emirates Old Trafford.
A bit of damage there, hasn't he, Bailey?
At Tom Bailey's wage slip at the end of the month, we'll have a slight deduction for damage to the ground. This is good. This is the flourish. This is that little booster that on Mario Kart, they've just gone over a little mushroom or something and they've got a little bit of extra speed. And to some people that will make no sense whatsoever. Bamba's figure's taking a little bit of tap. Umpire just inspecting the ball after it is passed through a plastic sea, which is not a sentence I've said very often. Last ball, the 45th, and we've only got 48. Fuller beats the outside edge. Pace on there from Bamba. The variation, the quicker one. 212 for 7. 45 gone.
Yes, Figure's taken a bit of a denting in that over, but some really good clean hitting by Flintoff and by Bailey. Terrific pickup from Flintoff to whip it out towards square leg for 6, and then plunging down the ground by Bailey, doing some damage on the seats away to our right hand side. So 20 off 20 for Bailey, just the perfect way to come out and try and get some energy into the back end of the innings here for Lancashire. 212 for 7, and Bamba now 2 for 28 from his 8 overs, having been 2 for 12 was it? Right. These things could change quickly, can't they?
41 off 37 this partnership, just what Lancashire needed.
Well, Luke Holman's bowled out, so he's got Mark Stoneman, the Middlesex skipper, the option to come back to Brooks, which he does. Brooks has got 2 left. There's 3 remaining in the innings. Bamba does also have 2 left, so he can go with Brooks and Bamba at the end if that's the plan. It will be Brooks to Flintoff. He's on 79, make that 80 now. Step to the leg side and fiddles it down the ground for a single. 213 for 7. Brings Bailey back on strike. Only been 1 50 partnership in the innings for Lancashire. These two now put on 42. Brooks to Bailey, that's pulled down towards Cornwell. Oh, it's gone through his fingers and through his legs. And doesn't reach the boundary, but little fumble allows Bailey to come back and jog 2. Takes him to 22 not out. 215 for 7. Because you're trying to apply a bit of pressure on the Middlesex fielders here and maybe force a few errors along the way. Brooks strides in, bowls. Bailey hammers it down the ground, straight down the ground. 1 bounce and cut off right on the boundary rope by Luke Holman. That's terrific work. He was right by the rope with little room to manoeuvre with, in truth. He's done ever so well there to push the ball back and somehow just, I think his left foot did step over the rope, but he released the ball. So he's done really well there, Luke Holman. And he's saved 2 runs for his side. Bailey moves to 24, 217 for 7. 5 off the first 3 balls. Pulled out to the leg side. 4 more for Bailey. It's a really important knot, this. He's enjoying himself too, Tom Bailey. 221 for 7. 50 partnership as well, in just 41 deliveries between Rocky Flintoff and Tom Bailey. Taken just over half an hour to get there. Excellent work. Bailey to 28, 221 for 7.
Well, we said, didn't we, that Middlesex wouldn't have wanted to come off the rain, and they had the side with the momentum, and so it's proven. Lancashire just had a chance to gather their thoughts and work out how they're going to approach these last, what was it, 8 overs.
Brooks back into Bailey. Thumped down the ground for a single. Holman's there at long on to field. Bailey to 29. 1 ball left and then 2 overs remaining. 222 for 7. Gets Flintoff back on strike. And Brooks to Flintoff. So there's 3 fielders on the boundary on the leg side. Flintoff steps to the leg side and Brooks pushes it full and outside the off stump, and the umpire says that's too far outside the off stump, and he's called it as a wide. 223 for 7.
Let's see that again, because he took a step back, and once you start moving around you sort of change those lines. James Treadwell, though, formerly a bowler himself, so
just a little step to the leg side, wasn't it, by Flintoff, and the bowler then pushed it outside the off stump. It's drilled away into the offside, hit firmly by Flintoff. Stopped at backward point, good stop as well. Cracked away by Flintoff, who keeps the strike. He moves to 81 with 12 balls left of the Lancashire innings. 224 for 7. And a partnership that Lancashire were really craving at the end of their innings, and they've found one between Flintoff and Bailey. Bailey 29 and Flintoff 81.
if they can finish with a flourish, I think it becomes a good score, not just a defendable score. It's very hard to tell because it's been an odd innings. It's felt like they've had no real momentum other than in small parts. Even Bamber is going to finish off. A little bit of stick for him in that last over he bowled. 16 off his 8th over, having bowled 7 overs for 12 before that. Bit of acceptance that at this stage in the game you're likely to go for a few more. Rocky Flintoff on strike, he's got 81. Interestingly now, there's a deep cover and a deep backward point with deep square leg up. So if he's going to try and hide this ball outside the off stump, you wonder. There's the first one, that's exactly what he's going to do, having been hit over the leg side for a couple of sixes on the short boundary.
Yeah, anything that was straight is in Flintoff's range, isn't it, to that leg side boundary. Fallen wide of off stump.
Here's Bamba into Flintoff, again hiding it outside off stump. Flintoff strikes it firmly down the ground, just a single. Bamba won't mind that. Henry Brooks does the fielding, chucks it into the wicketkeeper Jack Davies. I always think they did that almost to say, yep, I can throw it that far, so don't you take on that too. Just a little warning throw. Good from Bamba. Just one off the first 2 balls.
He's bowled beautifully to his field there, hasn't he, to Flintoff? He knows the dangers that shorter leg side boundary.
Same field to Tom Bailey, who has already done some damage to one of the chairs here, or seats at Emirates Old Trafford, with a 6 in the previous over. Again, Bamba, that's beautiful. Yorker outside off stump. Does his best to try and stop it. Throws at his left boot. He could have done himself a bit of a mischief there, Bamba. In the aim of nothing, really. I think they were always going to take a single there. He was never going to be able to stop that ball dead and pick it up. Anyway. Flintoff and Bailey come together. 226 for 7. 9 balls left this Lancashire innings. We're in the 47th over. They lost a couple of overs due to the rain. Rocky Flintoff, 82 from 110 balls. Been the standout batter. Bailey at the non-strikers end, 30 from 25. Bamba's in. Flintoff's gone up in the air. I think that's going to land safe. The fielders are down on the boundary. They'll think about 2. They won't get there. Luke Holman to scuttle in from long on. It's only landed 10 yards or so behind the stumps at the non-striker's end. In Flintoff's head, the shot he's just rehearsed there, that's gone over the hotel. He just didn't quite get hold of it. Just a single, though, is the critical thing. 3 from 4, Bamba. He's into Bailey, who's crouching. Again, hides it outside off stump. Bailey tries something a little bit fancy, a little reverse dab, which is a fair enough shot because he knew what the bowler was going to try and do there. The plan is obvious with kind of deep backward point, deep third, and third up. Worth an effort from Bailey.
It is, yeah. The two fielders, third man, fine leg inside the circle, and I guess anything on it, he's probably going to get 4 for it.
This is super from Ethan Bamber. This will be his final ball of the innings. He's in. Bailey uses his feet and crunches it back at Ethan Bamber. And just 3 runs from the penultimate over of the innings. Bamber set his field. He was going to try and hide the ball outside off stump, having taken a bit of tap in his previous over. It was obvious, but when you execute it that well, it was very difficult to get away, and they just took those 3 singles.
Yeah, superb over that, isn't it? It's a great comeback. The previous one, he didn't get right, did he? And he was just a little bit too straight with his line, was Bamber, and he opened up the chance for both Flintoff and Bailey to bring that shorter leg side boundary into the game, and both whacked him away for 6 in different times in the over. His comeback was brilliant. He's got the field set, and he's managed to consistently bowl full, either just on or just out wide outside off stump, and make it really difficult for the batters to try and bring the shorter boundary into play. So really good over that by Bamber. He's bowled very nicely. His figures maybe a little bit damaged because of the previous over, but 2 for 31 from 9. Brooks to send down the final over. Flintoff launches it high towards the leg side. Lands safely beyond the reach of a diving, despairing grab from the fielder at deep mid-wicket, Joe Cracknell. It's 4 to Flintoff. And Lancashire move on to 231 for 7. Went for the big hit out towards deep mid-wicket. It's in the air. Dive came in. Bounces over the rope, and 4 to Flintoff. He moves to 87 not out. 231 for 7.
Yeah, it would have been a wonderful catch, wouldn't it? Just maybe 13 short. He won't be thinking about that. Probably will be a little bit.
Yeah. Brooks to Flintoff. Has he got that past the infield? No, it's picked up at short third man. Well, actually, he's got to cross the stumps to scoop it down towards the boundary behind him. And Noah Cornwell comes away to his right, low down to his right, and stops the ball. So just a single to Flintoff.
And you could see that little look behind. There's almost not a desperation, but a please, go on, just go a couple of yards to his right.
Well, if that sneaks past Cornwell and that goes for 4, then he's into the 90s and we're eyeing up potentially something really special. It's been a great knock for Flintoff, though. Bailey's back on strike, hammered down the ground, long off underneath it, takes the catch. Josh DeCaires takes the catch, and Bailey has to go, but it's been a very, very good knock that by Tom Bailey, and I think Rocky Flintoff quite enjoyed batting with him as well. Goes for 30. He's shared an important partnership potentially. It's the biggest of the innings for Lancashire. They put on 61. Bailey hauling out towards long off, and Lancashire 8 down now. 232 for 8.
Yeah, just that late impetus that Lancashire needed. It gets Flintoff back on strike as well. So Tom Bailey has very much done his job there. And the job of Josh Boyd on debut is very much just to run. And run 2 or watch Rocky Flintoff hit it to the boundary.
Well, there are 3 balls left of the innings. And Flintoff's on 88, 232 for 8. It was really good batting by Tom Bailey, who's given Flintoff and Lancashire some support there at the back end of the innings. 30, so he scored half the partnership, Bailey. 30 off just 28 balls. 232 for 8, 3 balls left. Third that for Henry Brooks, 3 for 42 from his 9.3 overs. 232 for 8. Brooks to Boyden. It's chipped up towards mid-off. He gets a single, and he gets off the mark and brings Flintoff back on strike.
Yes, we don't do crossing anymore, do we? I can never get the regulations. No, it changes.
It does. It's different for different competitions, isn't it? Which doesn't help.
It'd be so hard to be an umpire, particularly for a lot of the umpires that are doing Metrobank, who they're on different panels. So you're doing a different competition with a different set of rules. And there's quite a lot of laws. We don't have rules.
2-3-3 for 8. 2 balls left. What's Flintoff got here for Lancashire? It's Brooks in and balls. Tries back down the ground on the bounce. Stopped by Brooks off his own bowling low to his left-hand side. And a dot ball for the penultimate over of the innings. Brooks wandering back to his mark. This is the final delivery. 2:33 for 8. It's felt a bit stuttering at times by Lancashire, but got themselves a score on the board here. Brooks to finish it. Flintoff goes big as he cleared long off, who's underneath and takes the catch. Flintoff caught at wide long off. Ends a very, very, very good innings for 16-year-old Rocky Flintoff, playing at Emirates Old Trafford for the very first time in Lancashire's first team. Top scores with a brilliant 88. Some fabulous batting, some wonderful shots. He's found ways to score all around the ground, and his teammates come out at the edge of the balcony to applaud him, as indeed do the supporters inside the ground. Tucks his bat under his arm, and Flintoff will enjoy the moment, the start of what could be a very, very exciting career for the young man. And he puts together a fabulous 88. That is it. Lancashire 233 for 9, and it's 234 to win.
Yeah, it was a joy to watch that. Had a little bit of everything, and a lot of nous, a player with an ability to read the game and to bat in a situation way beyond the handful of list A matches he's played in his 16 years. So that was superb. That was a standout. It feels like a long time ago, but I thoroughly enjoyed Kesh Fonseca. I've just had a check on social media and the Metrobank One Day Cup account. I said, look, it might be an early shout, but does Kesh Fonseca have the best cover drive in the world right now? Which is some praise. It was beautiful. So he batted beautifully for 42. That Tom Bailey 30 was also just what was required. That partnership, those were the two partnerships, basically. Flintoff and Fonseca. Flintoff and Bailey, they were the only two partnerships above 50 in the innings. Again, Lancashire not really getting going. There's that scorecard. Flintoff by far the top scorer, more than twice the next nearest. He needed a little bit more support. I still think this is an okay score on a tacky pitch. They lost Bell and Bahanan. I tried to say both names in once there. Ayer and Green in that middle order. Green's been in such good form, the two overseas players. Both falling in quick succession. And there's that Middlesex bowling card. I thought they were superb. Led by Ethan Bamba, 9 overs, 2 maidens, 2 for 31. He bowled 7 overs for 12. He went for 16 in his penultimate over. He came back for the penultimate over of the innings and went for just 3. Luke Holman picked up a couple of wickets, 2 for 47 for him. And Henry Brooks as well. He bowled in 3 different spells. Took a wicket in the first over of his first spell, LBW Josh Bahanan. And he picked up a wicket in the first over of his next spell, and 2 in that last over leaves him with figures of 4 for 43. So he's a standout figures-wise, but he was well supported by Bamba. Holman, just cares, picked up 1 for 17 off just 5 overs. Other bowlers were Nathan Fernandez, who bowled 8 overs, 0 for 35, and Noah Cornwall was a promising young left-arm quick, not quite his day. 6 overs, 0 for 48. So Middlesex 2-3-3 to win.
Cheers, Sam. We'll take a break then. That's the target for Middlesex. A victory will help narrow the gap to those qualification positions in Group A as they try and sneak into the knockout stages of the One Day Cup. We'll catch you in about half an hour or so.
"1864. We were first class then, and we're first class now. With a dream to spread cricket through Lancashire's towns. where girls and boys, with willow and leather, become more than a badge, but the red rose together.
A club where more than legends are made, but friendships, obsessions, moments replayed on our screens, in our minds, in our hearts forever. Because it's who we are, our DNA, the red rose together.
Statham, Briggs, Jimmy, Freddie and Joss, Chappie, Sir Clive Lloyd, Carol Hodges, Kate Cross. What a roll call. It's a hard one to measure, with future names still to be written on the red rose together.
We're all about people. It's what the red rose really means. Yeah, the ones signing autographs, but the ones behind the scenes.
Our community, grassroots, the ones that feel tethered. Whether you're from here or belong here, we're the red rose together.
And what about this place? Talk about world-class venues, internationals, gigs, events. You can choose from a menu of triumph, of disaster, of pain, or pleasure.
We've seen it all at Emirates Old Trafford, with the red rose together.
Red ball, white ball, lightning and thunder.
Have you ever sat back? Have you ever just wondered how far we've come? The storms we've weathered, or how far we'll go as the red rose together.
Welcome to Conrad Dubai. Here's your key.
Thank you. Let me help you with the bags.
Nice room.
How's that?
How's How's that?
This is a call for hungry dreamers and hard-working self-believers. Success is down to more than just luck and talent. It's striving to be the best, breaking the boundaries and never giving up. Are you ready to become your best self? Are you ready to unlock your greatness? So what are you waiting for? This is Education Evolved. This is UA 92.
Will these two stay out there after a drink? And that's a huge sip. Over to the Hilton review system. 3 reds, no doubt at all. And up goes the finger. When it has to be absolutely calm, it matters where you stay.
Hi, I'm Keaton and this is Luke. We are the giraffe opening pair at Lancashire Cricket Club. We are here today at the Middlesex Estate Agents. Let's see what they have in store for us. One of the highlights for me probably was making my Test debut. You aspire to play international cricket, and I think for me making that Test debut in Mumbai was a special moment I think I'll look back on.
Property is potentially an option that, well, I've already started to go down. I'd like to explore more options in the future for sure. I've seen how positive an investment strategy that can be.
If I could, I'd get a little clay pigeon shot up in the garden. I'm not entirely sure the neighbours would be all too happy with it, but yeah, a little clay pigeon trap.
The idea of dealing with the day-to-day stress of everything that comes with being a landlord isn't something that I would necessarily want to be a part of, to be honest. So using an experienced agent like Middlesex would definitely be something I'd be interested in.
I think it's not devilishly good looks, to be entirely honest. I'm not sure where the reference comes from.
I think it's fairly self-explanatory.
I think just making sure the advice you're getting is aligned with the goals. It's a big investment, it's a large chunk of your savings, so to make sure it's taken care of and taken care of in a really sort of professional manner.
You've got the idea. Go Daddy.
मेहरबानी करें आरपीओ साहब के हुक्म से ये हिदायत करता हूँ आप मालवे के खिलाफ वर्जी ना करें। अपने वो किसी को शब्द दिखाने के लिए भाई इस तरह मत बोल जाओ। एक बात आप लोगों से दोबारा करनी थी। मालवे की खिलाफ वर्जी
ये तो
मीटर लाइट है, मेरा मीटर नहीं लगा।
2 साल में टाइम हो गया कई बार या अटेंड नहीं तबाही आ रहे हैं आर्मी है कोई भी नहीं लेकिन अनबैलेंस सिर्फ आपने विजिट
सर पहले नंबर दे दे। जी साढ़े लेके
Everyone is ready now in position for our awards for 2024 and to present the awards. So welcoming Will Williams and Charlie Shaw to present those awards. Starting with our Achievement Award. Triple Triple Club when the chess title is Stuart McLeod.
ठीक है सानू पर लेकिन मौका जो हमारे
इस पिंड में हम लोग आए हैं।
ठीक है
जी बिल्कुल, मासूम शहरियों को धोखा भी फ़र्ज़ बनता है कि वो मंशियात फरोशों जराइम
Next is the Metro Bank Championship of Middlesex Sports. The winner of the Lancashire was that is Sarah John, second half of the club, and the winner of the Sheffield Metro Bank Championship of Sports is Karen Bees from Woodford. Next inspired to play for and the winner of the Lancashire Award for that is Anna Ross of Field Club, and the winner of Chester Award is Johnny Jones of Crawford. Next is the Outstanding Contributions Coaching Award, and the winner of Lancashire's Outstanding Contribution Coaching is Martin Miller of Buckingfield Club, and the winner of the Cheshire Award is John Kenny of Officer. Next is the 1625 Game Changer Award, and the winner for Lancashire is Alf Stamper at Flixton Club, and the winner of the Cheshire Game Changer Award is Harry Party of Alfred Club. Unfortunately, Harry is not able to leave the league today. Next, the Growing Gaming Award, winner of Lancashire Award is Shane Byrne.